Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. What is going on? Happy October, motherfuckers. All you beautiful, sexy badasses out there, all you moving, loving maniacs. Happy October. That's right. We kicking it off early. That's right. We getting it done now. We starting off with the horror movie reviews and some other fun stuff.
Horror is short for
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, yeah. And some other extra tidbits just for fun. But we love talking movies and TV shows and hanging out with all of you beautiful badasses. What's going on? It's your boy Fat Samurai Guy. That's right, with Lady Fat Blood. That's right. Let's do the roll call. Let's see what badasses have arrived. Who do we got here? What is going on? We're gonna start from the top, baby. We're gonna start from the motherfucking top. Daryl Johnston. Hey, what's up? What's up, brother? You just watched Trilogy of Terror. Yes, and the last story is the best. Yes, and we were laughing our asses off. We actually just watched that a few months back. Heather, what's going on? Who else we got here? The monkey. He says, "Greetings, Orange Mohawk guy." I too hated the Hocus Pocus 2 sequel that I would rename Charmed the Teenage Years in Salem.
We'll get to it.
Very, very well done. Very well done, monkey. Yes. And it's actually red. It's supposed to be red, but fading of the color and new lighting over here kind of makes things different. But the hair color is going to change at some point. It's going to be something different very soon. So, all right. Dominique, what's going on? Watched Hocus Pocus 2 yesterday. It was terrible. And after watched my best friend's exorcism and loved it. All right, nice. I'm sure Rick Byers is happy to see that comment. He's excited to watch that movie as well. The monkey, what's going on? Saying what's up again. Who else? That's right. Listen to Daryl, everybody. Listen, that's right. Hit that like button. Thanks again for hanging out with us on a Saturday evening. Yes. Who else we got here? Another shout out to Heather Gilbert Berger in the house. He's saying, "What's going on with Fat Samurai Guy, Lady Fat Blood?" What else we got here? Brian Sanchez and the Cheek Clapper. What's going on? All right. Oh, we got more. Okay, here we go. We're still going here. The Sexy Sumo. He's here. Everybody, relax. Sexy Sumo's here. That's right. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. NSG is saying hello. There you go. And the Assassin King up in the hazy. We got enough peeps in the house. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's kick it off with the live trailer reaction of Hellraiser
Yes,
on Hulu.
we are aware that the movie is coming out in
Yeah.
a week. If that on our motto on this channel has become better late than never.
Yes, pretty much. Well, we promised you badasses that we were going to do it at some point. We wanted to do it last Saturday, but Samurai Guy was under the weather, and even you didn't feel well. Also, but before let's before we click on it, let's put a little context here. Let's put things in perspective so that you guys are aware. First off, this is Lady Fat Blood shit. Okay, all right. This is Lady Fat Blood's world. This is her domain. You do not fuck with her domain. Okay, this is her shit. She loves the first two movies and enjoys the third one. And
after that, it all just kind of starts coasting downhill into a very, very rapid decline.
Yes. And this
What are you
is
gonna do?
Lady Fat Blood towards the end of. This is her towards the end. Like the first two Hellraiser movies, man. The first two Hellraiser movies. This is Lady Fat Blood. This is what she does at the house. You don't see this. Right, and then right towards the end of the franchise, that's about right. But yeah, we got a big old Hellraiser statue back here. Got the little Funko Pop there. That's right. Show it to the camera. Get it closer there. There you go.
We have a what 18-inch
Pinhead.
Yeah,
right.
but he's he's possibly a NECA, but possibly a movie reel. It's hard to tell because we actually got him at one of those conventions, where they were selling him on the cheap because he's missing the lament configuration, but it doesn't matter because he talks. So
yes,
and I got him for cheap. It's one of those where he's probably like $100 at one point, but I got him for like 30,
right?
Because he's missing the box, but he does talk. He still talks. So
now was he Was he the one that freaked us the fuck out and started talking?
He might have been. We have several of them where we didn't realize that they talked.
We have Ash. Yeah, when we bought them because they looked cool.
Yeah.
We have an Ash. We have a Jason Voorhees from the 7th film. We didn't know they did voice commands. So out of nowhere,
we didn't realize they were motion sensitive.
Yeah, we didn't know.
And that
for years,
the switches were on.
Yeah, for years we never heard anything. And then one day, I think it was Pinhead or whatever. And we were like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What does it say? Do you remember what Pinhead says? I don't remember.
No, I don't.
We had turned that shit off.
Yeah.
We were like, this is fuck. Are the toys haunted?
Yeah.
What's going on? But yeah, thanks again for hanging out with us, guys. And just wanted to make sure that is clear. This is her realm. Yes. This is her domain. Yes. She actually made me more of a fan of the Hellraiser movies.
Yes.
I've always liked the first one. And I think with you, that's when I rewatched it again. And then I rewatched the second one, and I really loved the second one. And the third one's fun.
Fun little quick rundown history with me, as is tradition. I saw the Hellraiser films out of order because that's what I do.
Yeah.
I saw the third one first because that's how it works. That's how it works with me.
Yeah.
And then I eventually was able to go back and see the first one and the second one.
Right.
Obviously, the first one is my favorite. I have probably seen that one more than any of them, followed by the second movie, even though I saw the third one a lot because I had that on cassette from cable.
Yeah.
And I used to watch that one a lot, but I've gone back and watched the first one so many times. That's like my hug. That's like the movie that I put on when I want to go to sleep.
You guys are hearing this, right? That's how badass she is. She puts Hellraiser on the background to go to sleep with.
It's like,
and that's her comfort food.
It's a comfort movie for me. It's like my hug. Like I love the movie. It's just like it's like a warm blanket for me.
You're getting requests to review them, so maybe in the future.
I mean,
maybe do a ranking or something.
There's nothing that I could say about the movie that hundreds of other people haven't already said about it, other than I really love this movie, and it's so there's really nothing that I could say about it. I will say that I'm not particularly feeling one way or the other about this. I think the franchise could only it can only go up. I mean, I want to say that, but could you really only go up? I mean, this franchise has found ways to go further down. Let's be honest. This franchise has found ways to dig itself further into the hole throughout the years.
Yeah.
A lot of people hated Judgment.
There was potential there. We kind of liked the Judgment a little bit.
I didn't hate Judgment. No. A lot of people hated it because of the gross out gore and how disgusting it was. I was kind of like, hey, you know what? I didn't feel like Revelations was dog shit, and I felt like it was a cheap cash in. Like that movie to me felt like we made it in 10 days because we wanted to retain the rights. That's what that movie felt like to me.
Right.
I felt like Judgment was, let's try to at least bring something to it,
some dignity,
for better or worse.
Right.
A lot of people didn't dig it. I thought it was at least an improvement over Revelation.
It was,
but that was just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
And you know, if you didn't like it, hey, it's cool.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's following the source material even more. From the plot synopsis I've read, from what I remember of the novella, I mean, okay. The only thing that I can see is that, well, the Cenobites are more ambiguous in their appearance. They're not male or female.
So that's is that the only thing that?
I mean,
we're gonna find out.
So we'll see. We'll find out next week. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. So let's get to the trailer.
What's going on? Thrash Ponds. That's right. Another great YouTube channel. If you guys love movies, make sure you subscribe to Thrash. We gotta get Thrash. I'm gonna reach out to you and Retro Serial really soon. We're bringing back horror versus episodes, so we got to bring you guys on as guests so you guys can vote and have some fun with us. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into this, guys. Hellraiser trailer reaction. We're gonna react to it live with you guys. Thanks for hanging out again. You guys ready?
No alcohol needed.
I know. Kevin Lambert, what's going on? The legend. How you doing, man? That's right. Daryl saying hello. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and get started here. I did see a few of the pictures, and it was looking interesting, man, especially how the Lady Pinhead looked, the makeup. So it doesn't look like trash so far. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. Let's kick it off October style, baby. Halloween, baby. Let's check out the trailer for Hellraiser for Hulu. Let's go ahead and do this. All right, let's bring it up here. We might have to do some scooting. There we go. Gotta get some scooting in there. That's right. This is how we have to bootleg trailer reactions live. We have to do it like this. We have to do it like this. There we go. All right, here we go, guys. Let's check this out together. Boom. Yo. All right. I'm digging it. Come on. You can't say that trailer looked like garbage.
I'm not saying it looked like garbage.
Okay, well, let's talk about it.
I
love her voice. I like the way she looks. I'm digging it. I'm digging that, man.
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't have potential.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. That's good. That's good. From her, that's good praise, believe it or not.
That's all I can say, though.
There we go.
That's about all I can say.
Gail says he thinks it looks interesting. Yeah. That looks, put it this way, it looks a lot better than I was expecting. It looks like, let's take a look at it again. It looks like we're going to get some, hopefully, from this trailer, and we'll do it like this. We'll do it like this, guys.
Yeah, we don't need the sound. The sound didn't really.
No, well, I turned it down anyway.
Yeah, the sound doesn't really add anything. Ends up.
Look at that.
What's your pleasure, sir? That guy.
Yeah.
He always ended up having the box in some form,
Yeah. Dude, is this
so what
I'd like
to go back and do is go back and read the novella's description.
Okay.
Of the Cenobites, which is,
This is reminding me of Hellraiser 2.
With the labyrinth and all.
Yeah. Let's go back there. Hold on. Look at that. Interesting. Juicy. But yeah, I'm so glad because her voice, if they fucked up her voice and it sounded like garbage, that literally could have ruined this entire project. If her voice did not sound demonic, did not sound menacing in any way, her voice could have fucked up this whole, it doesn't matter how good this looks. Her voice, this really could have fucked up everything.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that shot.
I do like, it's like some people might take issue that they don't look like the original, and that, the leather with the, how they look, they don't look like the original.
Yeah, the S&M stuff.
Right, where there's more leather.
Right.
And how these, but I kind of like that they don't
look
like the original.
That's fine.
I like that they've kind of done their own thing.
Yeah.
You know how my complaint about the Rings of Power was that the goddamn Balrog looks like the goddamn Peter Jackson Balrog.
Right.
It's like, do your own goddamn thing.
Right.
I like that their Cenobites look like their own Cenobites.
There you go. Positive feedback.
I would prefer you do your own thing.
That's right.
You don't ride on the backs of better things that have come before you.
There you go.
Do your own thing. If you're confident enough in your work and what you're doing. Pinhead obviously has to have the requisite pins in the head.
It's too iconic to throw away.
Pinhead obviously has to have the pins in the head because that's in the description of the novella.
Right.
That's in the description of the character.
Right.
That was one of the Cenobites in the story. So Pinhead has to have pins in the head.
Right.
But anything else, you can do whatever. Flayed skin, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Any of the other, if there's a teeth chatterer that was described in the novel, in the novella, there has to be a teeth chatterer. Stuff like that.
Right.
But if there was no other descriptors that said they wear leather, they wear this, they wear that, then do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm glad that they've kind of done this more filleted skin with this in the
But yeah, could you imagine again going back to the voice? I mean, could you imagine if she was just like, we have. I have hope. I have hope. You know why? Because, well, first of all, the trailer looked a lot better than I was expecting it to look. And you gave some positive feedback as well. But the director, man, I like what the director has done already. So that gives me a little bit more confidence that this is going to be kick-ass. So hopefully it's good. There was another movie he did, but most recently he did one of my favorite creature features of recent years. That now my old man age is kicking in right at this moment. And I can't remember the name of the movie. Help me out, guys. With all the friends went in the woods to hang out. Oh. Yeah, and then the fucking god damn it. It was like one of the most original and interesting creature designs. And it was going after this guy's friends and stuff. And because one of their friends died. God damn it. Help me out, guys. What's the name of that movie? Yeah. What's up, Pazuzu?
Someone's asking, is it The Ritual?
The Ritual. Thank you. Yes, there you go. The Ritual and The Night House. Oh. Yeah. So we're in good hands. This guy knows horror. We have The Night House, which was visually outstanding, incredibly well acted by Rebecca Hall, which we're becoming more fans of the more we see of her. And it has that meta, psychological horror stuff. And there was a little bit of psychological horror in The Ritual, even though it was mainly a creature feature flick. I'm telling you, you guys will love The Ritual. It's fucking great. That creature design is something I've never seen before. So check it out. Yeah, check that out for sure. But yeah, thumbs up. I'm giving thumbs up for Hellraiser. So I guess we're done with the trailer reaction, so I guess we could take these out. Yeah. Let us know if you guys can't hear us. I'm going to unplug this, and we'll keep rocking and rolling, baby. All right.
Yeah, so
can you still hear us? Let us know. I can turn this up now, I think. Oh, I forgot to move this over because I'm loud. Oops. Sorry if I was too loud. I usually put that in the middle there. All right. What is going on? Yes.
So, like, unlike another movie where I saw the trailer and I instantly knew the movie was not going to be impressive, Hocus Pocus 2. This trailer, it doesn't look like dog shit.
We got a shot.
But, I'm not saying it's going to be amazing, but,
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. We will see. But yeah, 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. All right. Thanks, guys, for doing the sound check for us. So, all right. So those of you that have arrived late, thanks again for hanging out with us. We had 45 badasses watching. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like the video. We appreciate you guys being here and chatting movies with us. So if you guys are just wandering in here late, thumbs up for Hellraiser trailer. We enjoyed that. That's right. But now it is time. It is time to take a shift. Woo! All right, so let's go ahead and start. We'll keep it horror. We'll do the 2 horror stuff, and then after that is just other bonus stuff we'll briefly talk about. But we can't go from Hellraiser to Pinocchio. So let's keep
as much as a horrifying experience that was.
True. We'll leave Pinocchio to the...
and for the record, we didn't really expect to watch Pinocchio.
I had no interest to watch Pinocchio.
I don't even know why we watched Pinocchio. I suspect it was one of those things where I was not feeling well.
Yeah.
And
that's tradition. If she's not feeling well, we watch bad movies.
I suspect I was not feeling well. And I was just like, you know what?
Yeah.
I think I need to watch a bad movie.
Right. It was a little bit of that, and I did hear that some people were like, whoa, like yikes. So I was like, oh, well, let's test ourselves.
Right.
Test your might. And see if it's really as bad as people say. Egg Shen is saying, what's going on? Like bad blood. All right. Right. Let's go ahead and jump right in. 50 badasses.
So what is up first?
Oh, we're going straight to the zombie that is Rob.
Oh.
We're going straight.
So I have been looking forward to this for years. I was both baffled and excited, befuddled and bemused by the news that Rob Zombie was making a Munsters flick.
Yeah.
I knew he was a fan.
Right.
But
Dragula.
Yes, yeah. But I also know the type of movies that he makes. Everybody knows the type of movies that he makes. Yeah. And if you know the type of movies that he makes, and if you know what the Munsters are or were, you know that those two things do not go together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now Rob seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
Seems like a chill dude.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could be friends with Rob.
Yeah. It's probably, We've seen Rob live. We've seen Rob in concert live. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know this would not happen, though, because I have shit on his films too much. I have shit on his wife too much. And it probably...
You did like The Devil's Rejects, though.
I did like The Devil's Rejects.
But that was it, I think.
I wanted to like The Witches of Salem. Was it Witches of Salem?
The Witches of Salem.
Was that what it was called?
You guys can remind us the correct title.
It's almost
something
called,
similar.
It's almost called that.
That had potential, and then it's almost like the second.
And then
the third act of the finale was like, what?
Something happened in that movie.
Did they lose budget and just had to end it? What happened?
Something happened in that movie that made me laugh my ass off, and I instantly stopped caring and taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Lords of Salem. Thank you, Sumo.
Thank you.
And there was a scene in that movie that was supposed to be super duper artsy fartsy.
Right.
And that you were supposed to take super duper seriously.
Yeah.
And I burst a gut, fell on the floor laughing, and I stopped.
That was it.
I couldn't. Yeah. I just couldn't. I was like, no more straight face with this anymore. I couldn't.
Radical Reggie in the house. What's going on, brother?
There he goes.
You guys want to play some Resident Evil 6? What's up, man? Good to see you, brother.
There he goes. And I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And so that movie, I couldn't, couldn't root for that movie anymore.
Right.
So the Munsters, and it's unfortunate with the Munsters because again,
you could tell he loves it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
he loves the property. He loves the IP.
Now, when it comes to classic properties, I personally don't really think that they can be done. They tried it with the Three Stooges. Now, there is a case for it. There is this channel out there, and it's escaping me who did it. But there's this channel out there that he covered a Munsters kind of revival. There were two made-for-TV movies that came out back in the 90s. One worked and one didn't. It wasn't with the original cast. Hats Off Entertainment, I think that's what the channel's called. He does really good work when it comes to classic TV and like what happened to them, what happened to the properties when they like do reboots and when they try to do like, when they try to do reimaginings, and like sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But he did a really good coverage of when they tried to bring back the Munsters in the mid 90s. They did a TV movie. The first one was really, really well done. And then they did a second one with a whole new cast and it was garbage. He said the first one really captured the tone, yada, yada, yada. I personally don't think they should be touched because they're just of a different era. They're of a different time. When the Three Stooges movie came out in the, mid 2000s, the cast was really well done. Like the cast did their best, but oh my God, it was embarrassing. I felt so bad for that cast trying to do their best.
Yeah, because they were actually good at imitating them. It was just the rest of the movie was atrocious.
But when you look at what the type of comedy that the Three Stooges was, it was slapstick. It was short subject matter. It was stuff that held your attention for 15 to 18 minutes, and that's what it was there for. It wasn't there for an hour and a half haul. The Munsters was the same thing. The Munsters was a 20-minute show that was designed specifically to kind of spoof, in a way, what it would be like if Universal classic Hollywood monsters, Universal monsters, were your everyday suburban.
Yeah. That was the point of the show.
You know, like Donna Reed. If you know what Donna Reed is, it was a classic TV show from the 50s and
Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah. What would happen if Universal Monsters were in a neighborhood and had their own sitcom? That's what the Munsters were. Yeah. They were like not necessarily lampooning it, but that's kind of what it was. It was kind of tongue in cheek.
And the difference between the Munsters and Addams Family, for the most part, is the Addams Family reveled, and we like the Addams Family too, but they reveled in being dark and evil. They enjoyed it. The Munsters thought they were normal.
Yes.
That's where the joke is. They thought they were normal, and everybody else was looking at them weird, but they didn't know what their problem was, because they're normal. And what's her name? The plain looking, the regular human Marilyn
Munster,
character.
Yeah.
She's the ugly one in the family.
Right.
Even though she's pretty, Right. So that's the joke. That's the joke.
So when the trailer rolled out, me and just about the entire population that saw the trailer were rightfully baffled. Were we surprised? I don't think so. And I'm not. We basically got what we saw in the trailer when this movie came out.
Yeah.
It was the trailer. It was exactly the fucking trailer. The trailer was baffling.
Right.
The trailer was absolute nonsensical, baffling.
Yeah.
Just absolutely, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And by God, the movie did not disappoint.
Oh man.
Now to prepare, we do have the box set of the Munsters TV show that you bought me a couple years back. Now the Munsters TV show, it was I don't know, maybe 70 episodes or so, if that. I don't even know it was 70 episodes. And then there was a movie from the 60s, and then there was oh God.
Yeah, which will
there was a movie from the 80s.
Yeah.
Now we're not going to talk about the really bad Munsters today. He never saw it. I used to watch it when I was a kid. It was awful. But anyway, so we have seen now 3 Munsters movies.
Yes.
Okay? Because he watched the first 2 Munsters movies with me. Yeah. So the original cast, he saw those with me.
You watched the entire show again, and I caught a lot of some of the episodes here and there. Yeah.
So you got a lot of it with me to get the tone of the show.
To prepare just a quick reminder and prepare for this.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. So having seen the original cast, with the exception of Marilyn,
right?
The original cast, 60s movie, most of the original cast, the 80s movie,
right?
And then the Rob Zombie movie. My personal opinion, and this is hard to say.
It's hard.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
And you're not going to believe me. Of the three, you're not going to believe me when I say this. And it's still kind of hard to say this. Believe it or not, Rob Zombie's movie is still the second worst.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to believe me.
I know. That the second movie they made, it's fucking sad, guys.
The 80s movie.
It is atrocious. There's nothing funny in it. And you feel this, it's what you expect, right? Rob Zombie directing a low budget movie and getting a lot of the comedy wrong, which we're going to get into in a minute.
Yes.
But that second movie that came out, it was supposed to be like a pilot to kind of kick off the show, bring it back. It's fucking.
But nobody bit.
It's fucking.
There was.
You feel sad.
Yes.
This you're going. You guys are idiots, right?
Oh,
but that movie, it's sad because it's Fred Gwynn, Grandpa's still there, and it's a travesty. That second movie it's really bad.
It's awkward.
You will weep.
Yes.
It's just you're gonna shake your head like.
Yes.
I can't watch this. This is fucking atrocious.
Now, having said that,
okay.
Jesus Christ, Rob Zombie. Jesus Christ, Rob. This movie, Rob Zombie's movie, feels like he had a bunch of story ideas in thought bubbles
Okay.
That barely made it to first draft.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of refining them and putting it to script and revising them and revising them and revising them and putting them into a script, he just filmed all the thought bubbles.
Right.
He filmed the thought bubbles. And that's what he filmed.
And that's the movie, and it's nonsensical.
And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. This movie is a series of just thoughts.
Stuff happens. This movie is a movie of, if you want to call it a movie, it's stuff happens in it, and there's not really a story per se. And if there's a story there, it's barely even a story. But you know how we are on the channel, right? I will say it till as long as we do this and have this platform. Low budget to big budget. To us, it doesn't matter. As long as the movie is entertaining, as long as we can find some entertainment out of the film. So, yeah, this movie looks very low budget. And we're like, okay, it's kind of strange seeing Rob have a movie this low, a project that's this low budget, because we've never seen him with something this low budget. So it's odd, but we're like, all right, maybe it might still be funny.
Yeah.
Maybe it still might be entertaining.
Yeah.
We're willing to give everything a shot, even though both of our trailer reactions of this movie, we were like stunned, like Jesus Christ, right?
Right.
But let's talk about some of the positives here.
Okay, now
where are you going first?
Let's address the cheapness factor. Okay.
Super cheap.
There was a point I was willing to forgive the cheap look. I think.
Was this the second movie? I forgot the name of the second movie because I want to forget I even watched that.
Yeah, I don't remember the names. I don't even remember the names. There was Munsters Go Home and Munsters.
Maybe the first one was
Munsters Revenge.
Munsters Revenge. That's the one, guys. Munsters Revenge is actually worse. Than the Rob Zombie movie. Munsters Go Home was the one cute. They went to the UK.
Yeah, Munsters Go Home was cute. Yeah. It was a little boring in parts.
But
it had its charm. Like Munsters Go Home by the end had some really legit cute stunts.
There was a legitimate stunt work in the Munsters Go Home. And there was actually a few funny moments.
There was actually a plot with some cute gags in it.
But this movie so bad that this movie makes the Munsters Go Home look like a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah.
This movie makes the Munsters Go Home look like Blazing Saddles. That's how bad this is. Okay? But go ahead and continue with talking about it, and I'll talk some images.
What I think Rob was trying to go for. Now, I'm not going to presume. I didn't look up the budget. Okay. And the thing is with Netflix movies, sometimes they don't give the budget anyway. I didn't bother looking up the budget.
You think he made it low budget looking on purpose?
I think if he didn't have... Okay. I wouldn't imagine a Munsters movie is going to garner a lot of budget anyway.
Okay.
Because it's a Munsters movie. No one's going to throw money at a Munsters movie. No one is going to say, hey, I'm making a Munsters movie. Here, take $200 million. Right. No one's going to say that. Okay. A Munsters movie by default is going to be cheap, on the cheap. Mm-hmm. If you're going to make a classic inspired Munsters movie, because Munsters was a low budget TV show.
Right.
It was like a one camera, you have one camera in the living room, one camera in the kitchen, one camera on the sidewalk, mm-hmm. one camera in the, one camera here. It was like one camera type setup. Mm-hmm. Okay. It was on the cheaper side TV show.
Right.
So, and the gags were cheap. The Spot was cheap. Spot in the staircase was cheap. How did you film Spot? It was 2 light bulbs and a flamethrower, or the end of his tail wagging.
Right.
It was cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was kind of part of the charm to it.
Right.
This movie, the cheapness. I don't think this was Rob's intention, but this cheapness almost felt like it was making fun of it. In a way, like it was almost like I'm not saying it. I'm not even saying it right. It was just like.
So you're saying it's a parody of the Munsters?
I don't know. And that's what's baffling, because at the end of the day, I don't know what his intentions were.
Right.
Because it's like the looks are there.
Right.
You see a guy in Herman Munster makeup, but he doesn't sound or act anything like Fred Gwynne did. You see a lady in Lily Munster makeup, but she doesn't act anything like Yvonne DiCarlo. You see a guy who is dressed like Grandpa. I don't want to say Grandpa Munster because they call him Grandpa Munster in the show, but he's not a Munster.
Right.
But Daniel Roebuck isn't given jack shit to do. He tries to act like Al Lewis a bit.
Yeah.
But he isn't given anything to do. So the charm is gone.
It's sad.
The charm is sucked dry from Grandpa's character.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I can't understand what they were trying to do in this movie.
Right.
So if you were trying to homage the Munsters,
you failed.
It's not there.
No.
So the cheap look of the show, the cheap look that you were trying to emulate of the show, why then? It's like, okay, the show looked cheap.
Right.
So your movie has to look cheap. But then why are you trying to do everything else when none of the characters act the way they did in the show? Like I said, it's baffling.
Well,
it's baffling what they were trying to do.
It seems like he was trying at parts to do the he tries to do the laugh.
Did you know Herman Munster was a stand-up comedian and he told really awful jokes that everyone thought was hilarious?
Fucking horrible.
Did you know Lily Munster was an airhead that was just looking for love?
It's fucking horrible, man.
No, the only character that they got right was Lester, the werewolf.
Okay.
Lester.
Okay.
Because he does show up in one episode of the Munsters, and he was a loser.
Okay.
Who was bad at money, and who fucked up with money. And
I missed those Lester episodes.
There was only one episode with Lester.
Oh, there was only one.
There was only one.
Okay.
And he was bad with money.
Okay.
And he got Herman in trouble with Lily and the family because he swindled Herman out of $5,000.
Yeah.
And he tricked him out of money. And he effed off with the money, but then he ended up bringing it back. He said, here's your money plus interest or whatever.
He did that in the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the way they did it in this movie.
Yeah. We're gonna let's just jump into this a little bit here.
If it's hard to talk about the movie, it's because there is no plot in this movie.
This movie, 80%. It almost feels like 70% of this movie is them on honeymoon and on vacation, going places, being goofy, scaring the local natives, and like that's 70% of the movie. Like the movie opens up. I will give a positive. There's some positives to this movie, believe it or not, and that's Richard fucking Brake. Richard Brake is giving it his all in this, and he is hilarious. Richard Brake is hilarious. He's actually playing. Some of the actors are playing several parts. Richard Brake also plays the Nosferatu-looking guy. Orlok.
Yes.
But Richard Brake did a few things that actually made us laugh. Because it's Richard Brake and he's good. He's great. But go ahead and talk about how, I know you mentioned to me how the actors that are playing the main roles are fucking terrible.
The baffling decisions were made in this film.
But when they're playing the little side, go ahead.
Okay, so Richard Brake plays dual characters in this movie. Now, we never meet, if I'm not mistaken, in the TV show, we never meet Herman Munster's creator.
Right.
So Richard Brake gets to play two characters that we never meet in the show. He crushes both characters in the film.
Yeah.
So he gets to play in the sandbox, and he gets to have fun doing both, and we get to enjoy seeing him play and do both great.
Mm-hmm.
Sherry Moon Zombie absolutely destroys Lily Munster. Like,
fucking
not even close.
It's terrible.
Plays her as this ditzy, well, I don't know what we're doing. We're going to be having to go this way, and we're having to go that way. Well, we're just going to have to be used to it. Oh, well, I don't know what we're doing here, but Herman, oh my God, I can't believe you let Lester swindle you out of your money. Oh, well, I guess I'm just going to have to deal with it. Lily Munster.
That's actually better than what Lily Munster.
Lily Munster did not act like that. That is not Lily Munster. It's not Lily Munster.
Very well done. That was great.
Thank you. Lily Munster did not act like. But
Lily Munster's a G. So
now here's the crazy part. Here's the really crazy part. Sherry Moon Zombie plays another character, another bit character in the film as this kind of like goofy toothed blonde character in makeup.
She was on the news.
She's a newscaster.
Right.
Blink and you'll miss her. But she has a few lines of dialogue as a newscaster. She's kind of like a goofy character.
Right.
Does perfectly fine.
She's
an over the top character who is a throwaway character, and she can't butcher her.
Right.
She's not a legacy character.
She's good at that.
And she's perfectly fine.
But bad as
absolutely horrible as Lily Munster because she's not playing Lily fucking Munster. That is not Lily Munster.
Yeah.
So again, the decisions that were made in this film are absolutely baffling. Jeff, what's his name? This guy.
Jeff.
Fucking A.
I know you want to say Jeff Daniels.
Because his name is like Jeff Daniels. But this guy absolutely just crucifies Herman Munster's character, but he plays a character that was on the show called Zombo.
Yeah, Zombo.
Zombo was this hilarious character in the TV show that was this actor playing a part on a TV show within the TV show.
Like a horror theme, like spooky.
Right, like he was the host.
By Zombo serial.
Think Elvira, except he was a male version. Like he was a host of a TV show.
Right.
And he played Zombo. Great.
He played a good Zombo.
He played a great Zombo. And but he was absolutely atrocious as Herman Munster. Couldn't get the voice right. Couldn't get the character right. Wasn't even close to Herman Munster. Am I totally attached to Fred Gwynn's Herman Munster? Absolutely, because he was absolutely wonderful as Herman Munster.
Right.
But he's not even close to the character.
But and
it's not just the performance, it's the personality.
Yeah, there were moments where I felt like he just gave up. Like there were moments where he just talked normal. He's like, "Hey, we gonna get something to eat or what's going on?" Like I feel like he just gave up.
Again, proving that it's not the actor, it's the decisions that were made as the portrayal of the characters.
So bad casting.
It's the decisions that were made to portray the characters.
Right.
Because again, Sherry Moon Zombie was told or made the decision to portray Lily horribly, but she portrayed this random newscaster fine.
Is that true?
What?
So
you cannot compare.
So Sherry Moon Zombie got $4 million.
To be fair, you cannot compare Rob Zombie to Christopher Nolan. You can't, dude. That's not fair.
He's just making a point, though.
I acknowledge your point. I fully acknowledge your point. But filmmaking wise, let's be fair.
Just talking about the budget.
I acknowledge your point.
All right.
But that makes sense.
Careful.
Oh, I see it.
All right.
But that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes the $5 million make sense.
All right.
But here's okay. So back to the points though.
Mm-hmm.
Roebuck.
No, well, hold on. Oh. Let me do the Roebuck, and then you can jump on it.
Okay.
All right. So we want to share this story with you guys if you have not heard this already. So Tom Devlin, that's right. Creature maestro, fantastic makeup, puppeteer, puppet master. This guy's done everything. And I had him on the channel a couple of times. Great interview, great guy. And we had the pleasure and the honor of being in his upcoming film. It's indie hardcore movie called Las Vegas Frankenstein. And we have very small parts in there, right? But it's tiny, but it was cool being on set and learning and seeing how filmmaking works, especially in the indie hardcore setting. Well, Daniel Roebuck is in the film. We got a chance to meet him, and he's fucking hilarious. He was very sweet, very supportive, and he's great at his craft. It was great watching him act. And because of Daniel, Samurai Guy has a little bit more screen time. And I'm not going to ruin it, or you guys have to watch the movie when it comes out. But because of him, he came up with this scene, and you get to see Samurai Guy just a little bit more. But he was great to be around. He was very supportive. He was a sweetheart, and and he plays multiple roles in this movie as well. And you guys may know him from The Fugitive and U.S. Marshals and stuff like that. But
he's been on a lot of movies.
He's been on a lot of stuff. We recently just watched Dudes which is hilarious, by the way. Check out Dudes. Came out in the 80s. But the thing was, compared to these two, I thought Daniel Roebuck was the best in terms of performance, because at least at times he did sound like Grandpa.
Yeah, he did.
He did sound like Grandpa, despite whatever the fuck the other two were doing. But it's still fucking sad, because when you watch this movie, they give Grandpa absolutely nothing to do. Yeah. Nothing to do. You wasted Daniel Roebuck. You wasted Elvira, who shows up in here. You wasted her. I mean, he does nothing. He does nothing. He experiments a little bit, and then it kind of backfires, and then that nothing else happens after that.
Yeah, Igor is in the movie. Sylvester McCoy is in this movie playing Igor, who's human, and they do this bit where Grandpa's got a bad back, and Igor's the only one who could fix his back, and he does it by standing on a chair to make him big and tall. And you think maybe, oh well, Herman's big and tall, and maybe he accidentally turns Igor into a bat permanently, and the only way Grandpa can get his back fixed is because Herman can come along and fix his back, and maybe that's why he starts to like Herman Munster from now on, because he hates Herman. And you think, oh, maybe that's the only reason he likes Herman, because he hates Herman. But no, he just suddenly starts to like Herman later for no reason. And he just turns Igor into a bat, and he just stays that way.
That's it.
And that's it.
You see Igor.
He set up a back bit.
And he just stuck to Grandpa's hat the rest of the movie, and that's it.
And he just suddenly starts to like Herman. So you set up the back bit for no reason.
Yeah.
And you set up him hating Herman Munster.
Right.
And then those two don't intermix, and then he just starts liking Herman later for absolutely no reason. Yeah, I see it. And back
keep
to
them coming, guys.
Back to the
keep them coming.
Things.
I'm loving it.
Back to the
What's up, Douglas?
Things.
How you doing?
To that point, with, and especially with the whole Rob Zombie wanting to retain the feel of the 60s. Okay, but there was a bit of 60s-ish things going on in the Munsters, but color-wise, none of that was going on in the Munsters TV show, because they couldn't do it. It was in black and white. Right. Now, Batman did that a lot.
Right.
There was some dancing that would happen occasionally in the show.
Right.
And there was like one band that showed up, and it was an awful episode. I always skip that episode when it comes on, because it's a terrible episode. But
well, there's that one band that showed up in the Munsters episode.
That's what I said. That's what
I thought you were talking about Batman.
No.
Okay.
No. Right, that episode with the Munsters, and I always skip it because I hate the episode.
Yeah.
Because I can't stand those stupid Beatles wannabes walking around. It's like, shut up.
Fucking terrible. But go ahead.
It was an awful episode. But yeah, it's like I always skip that episode. But anyway, the show didn't have the psychedelic colors and trippy visuals and shit going on.
Right.
And so anything that Rob Zombie was trying to infuse 60s wise doesn't translate from the TV show, because it wasn't in the TV show.
Right.
So what was he trying to do?
Yeah.
What was he trying to do?
Well, here's a good example of what the fuckery. Again, 70% of this movie is this. I think they really made a big mistake trying to make this some kind of origin story before they got together. This was like terrible. And we're big fans of both Addams Family movies. We love those movies. Now imagine the first Addams Family movie comes out, and there's no Wednesday, there's no Pugsley. It's just, the two, husband and wife getting together and getting to know each other. And that's who wants to fucking see that? That's just, I think they really made a mistake letting this be,
Actually.
But go ahead.
If it was Ava Green and Oscar Isaac playing,
you wouldn't mind that? Well, that's different though. You know why?
Because they have chemistry.
Not just that.
They're good actors.
Not just that, but it was a TV series idea.
Yeah.
So that makes more sense. This is a movie. This, if you want to call it, is a movie. This is not a series. A series, you might be able to get away with some of the origin story kind of stuff. But so anyway, this is some example of what the fuckery. So majority of the movie is this.
Yeah.
They find Spot
Yeah, they do find Spot.
Yeah, they show what Spot looks like. It's fine, whatever. Yeah. But then you have just stuff that's not funny. There was a few things here and there we lightly chuckled at, but you had stuff like this, like just not funny. And I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous. But when you watch this in the movie, for absolutely no reason, they're both dressed up as Sonny and Cher, and they're singing "I Got You, Babe" in front of an audience. And they do this song it's not just a couple of seconds of "I Got You, Babe." Yeah. They keep fucking singing. Yeah. And we're sitting there like watching this, like, yeah, where's this going? Yeah. And there's a lot of where's this going? Or, well, that went nowhere scenes. Let's talk about the scene where they're on the airplane, right? So they get on the airplane, and the next thing you know, everybody who was sitting around them is, they're scared out of they're fucking scared because it's the Munsters. So they go all the way to the back of the plane, and then they kind of try to have this joke of Herman getting drunk, but on
Shirley Temple's
on non-alcoholic beverage. So he's getting, okay, some more of these. Yeah. Can I have some more Shirley Temple's? That's how Herman Munster acts in this movie. That's how he acts. Oh, can I get another one of those? What a world. All right. So, and then he asks for another one of the Shirley Temples, and then the female waitress, whatever the fuck, what are they called? Flight attendant comes up there, gives him one more. She's scared to give it to him. And then all of a sudden she has a parachute and a helmet on. And then after she gives him one more Shirley Temple, she just jumps out of the plane. And then the next scene after that, they're landing. They landed already. And then the pilots are helping Herman Munster out of the plane. That's it. That's the scene. Where's the joke? What happened? That scene went nowhere. What was the point? And watching this whole movie, I was like, why didn't they just do that? That would have been funnier. Now imagine, right? I think I said this to you while we were watching that scene. Imagine if something happened to the plane, and the plane was getting ready. They were going down. They were crashing, and everybody in the plane is like screaming. And then it cuts to the Munsters, and the Munsters are like, "Woo!" Like that would have been fucking funny. Already more funny than nothing happening. You get a lot of scenes of just dead air jokes, scenes that don't go anywhere, man. And we're just sitting here just befuddled, just stunned. Yeah. You got me sounding like this fucking Herman in this movie.
Yeah. So the movie, the loosest of absolute loosest plot story I can tell you is that it starts with Lily's looking for love. Herman's getting built. They meet. They literally date. They get married. Lester swindles them out of money by tricking Herman into signing away the castle. So they have no home. They have to move to Hollywood. They have to move from Transylvania to California. So they moved to the suburbs. But you have to remember that the majority of the film, I'm giving you the truncated version.
Yeah, the
majority of the film is Herman and Lily dating. So I'm giving you the shorter version of the film.
Yeah.
The majority of the film
is them dating. And there's nothing really funny going on when they date.
And on. And it just drags because it's just like again, it boils down to the performances. Just if you really love the performances of the original actors, you're just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
You're just kind of sitting there going, this is just cringe. It's just cringe watching this. It's just like, I don't like this.
It's funny. They sing "I Love You, Babe" for 5 minutes.
So by the time they lose the castle and they have to move to California,
right?
They move to the suburbs during Halloween, and they moved to the neighborhood during this Halloween block party, and they think that they're moving to this neighborhood full of monsters and ghouls, and they're like, great, we're home. So
get ready. Go ahead.
So
oh my god,
they have this party. They're on this party in the street, and they
more 60s dancing with bad music. Rob Zombie, where's your fucking metal?
Right.
Where's your fucking hard rock, dude?
Apparently he doesn't.
This is horrible music they're dancing to. But yeah, go ahead.
They don't do that anymore. And so they win this Halloween contest because everyone thinks that they're
costume. Yeah.
They think they're wearing a costume.
Yeah.
And that's where Herman meets Goodman, Goodberry, and Graves, the funeral parlor people, and he gets the job with them.
Right.
And hints that he's gonna get a job with them. And they go to bed, and they obviously find the house that they want.
Right.
They go to bed in their new house. Herman wakes up the next day, and they're sitting in their house, and he's getting ready for work, and yada yada yada. And you finally see the raven in the clock, and he's like, "Hey, dipshit, it's time to get up and go to work."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be late."
Grandpa's eating cereal, right? Because that's all we could do with Daniel Roebuck. The guy was in The Fucking Fugitive and U.S. Marshals. We got Grandpa eating cereal.
And so Herman...
That's funny. Grandpa's eating cereal.
Herman walks outside.
Here we go.
Herman walks outside and realizes that everybody outside is normal. Everybody is now normal. All the ghouls that they thought were ghouls were actually normal people. And these normal people are suddenly not afraid of him. It looks like all of these normal people see him.
Oh, no, they see him.
None of them are afraid of him.
No, the little girls come up and try to give him lemonade.
None of them are running. None of them appear to be scared or screaming. Now, remember, in the show, everyone who first sees Herman and the family are terrified. Now, by the time we see the neighborhood people of the Munsters, everyone is shaky around them, but they come to like this uneasy alliance where it's like, okay, yeah, they're the Munsters. They're a little weird. Just don't go close to them, but they're there.
Right.
They're there. Just,
Hold on. Oh, Sumo says there's no metal in the 60s. But I guess there was techno music. There's techno music in the 60s, I guess. No, thanks for bringing that up.
So,
techno.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
So they oh God. So you just made me lose my train of thought.
No, they're no one's afraid. And you were talking about the people talking about the series.
But anybody new that meets the Munsters are terrified of them. The neighborhood, by the time, but everybody eventually comes around to be like, okay, yeah, they're a little, but these people should be terrified of the Munsters because they first thought that they were wearing Halloween costumes. Unless these are really stupid people that think that they're still wearing their Halloween costumes. But anyway. Nobody is scared of these people.
It doesn't make any sense.
So Herman freaks the fuck out, runs back inside, tells Grandpa and Lily, everybody outside is normal. All the ghouls that we thought were ghouls, they're all now normal looking, horrible looking, scary people. Lily and Grandpa rush outside and they all start to panic. And then Lester shows up. And then they're like, oh, well, you got a lot of nerve after the shit you pulled in Transylvania. And then Lester goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. I just got back from Vegas. Because Lester buggered off to Vegas after his little scheme. After swindling off the house in Transylvania, the castle in Transylvania. And he goes, I just got back from Vegas. And I got your money back plus interest. He hands Herman a check. And Herman looks at the check and goes, I'm rich. Bwah, 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 bwah. It's the black and white entrance from the old show. And I said, fuck up to this damn movie. I walked out in anger and I said, fuck you, Rob Zombie. And I'm never watching another one of your films.
You guys.
That was the end of the movie. That was the end of the goddamn movie.
Yeah, Lester gives them the money, and then all three of them, for it seemed like a minute straight, Rob Zombie shows all of them jumping up in slow motion, celebrating, I'm rich! I'm rich! And then right after that, it goes to the montage from the old 60s show. It goes to the intro, and guess what I said? I was like, that's kind of a fucking weird transition. Right? Like, okay, we're the black and white 60s doing the intro from the old 60s show. That was kind of weird to go from, I'm fucking rich. And then we're going to the 60s black and white intro. And then right after that, credits. My mouth. I was sitting over here and I was like, I was doing the Rick Myers face. I've been noticing a lot recently. I've been doing the Rick Myers face a lot. But I was stunned. I was like, that's the end? That is the end.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Seriously, you're going to take us on a unfunny date movie. And unfunny date movie. And then you're going to end it with this. And then it goes to credits.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
No.
Wow. That's the ending, guys.
Yeah.
That is the ending.
Yeah. No, you said there was an end? You said there was an end?
Because I walked out. Remember.
I walked out.
No, there's an end credits to the second movie you watched.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I walked out.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I literally walked out during the credits. I'm like, I walked out yelling. I was so mad.
I couldn't believe that was the ending.
And what pissed me off is like the first 10, 15 minutes, I was willing to give this movie the cheapness of it, the benefit of the doubt.
That's what we do here.
Okay, you're trying to homage the low budgetness of the show. I will give you that. I will give you the attempt. And then the rest of the movie kept unfolding with this really awful date movie shit that was just, the humor wasn't there.
Yeah.
The only entertainment I was gleaning from was some of the actors, not most of them.
Right.
Some of the actors were, were there, and I was enjoying some of them. And it was just like, but the rest of it, I was just like, oh, why? It's such a waste. And some of the actors were like, again, Roebuck, such a waste. Such a fucking waste. Sylvester McCoy, such a waste. Just why? And, just baffling decisions. Just absolutely baffling decisions. The story, absolutely no story. No story.
Yeah.
No fucking plot to be found in this movie. Not a fucking plot. There's more plot. There's
2
more
minutes
plot
of I Got You, babe.
There's
it's funny.
More plot in a 20-minute episode. You will find in an episode of 20 minutes in an episode of the Munsters. You will find more. And I'm just like, how do you do that?
Dragula. Where's fucking? You made a fucking song, Rob. You made a fucking song called Dragula about Dragula. There was no fucking Dragula in this movie. You get $5 million if that's what this budget was. You couldn't bring in Dragula.
And some people are saying they should have shot it in black and white. I'm not even overly concerned about that because the movie,
it still wasn't that funny. It wasn't funny.
The movie that they did in the 60s was shot in color. Okay.
Right. Yeah, it's fine.
And they originally if you watch the pilot, it was shot in color. And they originally had to go to black and white because it was cheaper. So they originally intended to shoot the show in color, but it was one of those things where, the makeup, between the makeup and the sets and everything, it was just a cheaper decision. Yeah. It was a cheaper thing to be able to shoot it in black and white. Yeah. So it's fine that they shot it in color for me, even though we're all used to seeing it in black and white. The color thing was not a problem for me. It was the rest of the decisions that were made in this film.
Jokes that went nowhere.
No plot.
Scenes that went nowhere.
Just
actors literally giving up by the end of the movie. Just giving up. Giving Daniel Roebuck nothing to do. How do you give the character of Grandpa, who's one of the greatest characters of television, nothing to do?
Oh, and then they had the balls when Herman Munster is freaking the fuck out when he sees the normies on the street. They have the balls to try to pluck an old gem from the show that was actually clever because, okay, a little history lesson. In the TV show,
oh, I forgot about this.
Fred Gwynn and Al Lewis back in the 60s, before they did the Munsters, were in an older show called Car 54, Where Are You? Okay, they were both in the show.
Right.
And so they came over and they did the Munsters. And there was a little hilarious...
It was a cop show.
There was a hilarious bit in the Munsters. It was an inside joke. Herman's freaking out at one point.
This is in the first movie.
And he goes, help, police, help. Car 54, where are you? It was an inside joke.
He said Batman, too. He's like, help, Batman.
It was a joke. It was an inside joke. Right. Well, because Rob Zombie thought he was being cute and clever to do the reference, they did that in the movie. It doesn't work here. It doesn't fucking work here. Okay? You didn't earn it.
It's funny.
You didn't fucking earn it.
It's funny. Laugh. Yeah.
I think I'm done.
But we're just getting started.
No, I'm done with this.
Okay. It's time to rate this. Time to rate this. Let's do it. All of you watching right now, we want to know what you guys thought of the film. You know, let us know in chat. And all of you guys watching this after this is live, let us know in the comments. Let us know your thoughts. Give us your rating. We want to see it. Even if you love the movie, we still would love to see that. But go ahead. What are you rating? Remember 3? I'm sorry, 3. I went back to our old rating. Yeah. Letters.
Yeah.
C is average on our channel. What are you giving the Munsters?
Okay, believe it or not, after all the shit I just piled on top of everything, this is still the second worst I have seen.
You guys, I'm telling you, Munsters Revenge, guys, is worse than this.
Believe it or not, Revenge
it's worse.
Is still worse because of how sad it is. And even though it has a plot ish, and this movie does not. Yeah. It only had one character that seemed to be having fun in that movie, and that was the Phantom of the Opera. And if you've ever seen that movie, go to YouTube and click Munsters Revenge Phantom of the Opera, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this guy was like, I'm in this shitty movie, and I'm gonna act my ass off and have fun.
Right.
He was the only entertainment, even though he was an annoying character.
Right.
But Munsters Revenge is worse than this guy's. But yeah, go ahead.
This movie at least had enough Richard Brake in it to just keep me chuckling. Like
not enough, but
yeah. He got to play 2 characters that really kind of made me giggle. Like there were some scenes where Richard Brake was just like chewing the scenery, and I'm like, oh, I'm here for it. I wanted more for Roebuck.
Dude.
I really wanted more from him.
Yes, what a waste of this talented actor. And he's just eating cereal. That's all we got for Grandpa, guys. Eating cereal. That's it.
Yeah, and if you've seen the original show, Grandpa was a huge part of the show.
Grandpa was a straight G, man.
Like he was a huge part of the show. Like a lot of episodes were about him and his schemes and his plots and getting into trouble and mischief and shit like that. So you know he deserved better.
Yeah. And
even though this obviously was about something else, but anyway, believe it or not,
we're hardcore Reese.
Believe it or not, I'm not giving this movie an F.
Okay.
As much as it deserves it.
Okay.
I'm giving it though a D-.
Yeah, that's what Rick Myers gave it a D-.
Okay. Yeah, it's getting a D- because it's baffling.
Yeah.
It's not quite an F again, just because some of the performances I'm fine with.
They were trying.
But
some
again,
of them.
There is a movie that's worse. Some people would disagree with me on that. Some people would. And
some people don't even know the Munsters Revenge movie exists.
Yeah.
But now that you've been watching us tonight, now you know about that movie. Munsters Revenge is an F-. That's an F- movie. D-. Just for the fact that there was no Dracula, just for the fact that they just wasted Grandpa, who's a straight gangster G, and this movie was nothing. This movie was nothing.
Yeah.
But an unfunny long date movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go F+.
Oh.
I'm going F+.
Yeah.
Fuck this movie.
Can't argue.
All right, we're moving on, guys. Yeah. We are moving on. All right. Man, we're on a roll tonight here.
So here's another movie that we did not intend watching.
No.
Because we didn't know it came out.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this movie was coming out. I didn't even know this movie was being made until not that long ago, actually. And when I found out it was coming out, I rolled my eyes.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, 30 years later? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Almost 30 years later? I'm like, come on. What? We're just never going to fucking learn.
Right.
And if we keep watching, they're just going to keep doing it. So,
yeah.
But luckily, it's not a theatrical release.
Right.
So, Disney Plus was definitely the right call for this.
It would have got slaughtered.
Yeah.
Even with the diehard fan base.
Yeah. So, Hocus Pocus was not a movie that I saw in the theater. It was a movie I saw a little bit later on. Obviously on cable. I don't know how old I was, but it was one of those things that I saw on cable, and I thought it was really cute.
Yeah.
It was a movie that I would revisit every now and then.
Well, 93?
93 is when it came out.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. And I always thought it was really cute. Yeah. And I would watch it every so often.
And you saw it back then?
Not when it came out.
Okay.
But probably like a few years after it came out.
Okay.
So just a few years after.
Right.
It was always on cable. Always on cable.
Yeah.
And then, it was one of those I got on DVD, and then eventually you got it for me on Blu-ray not too long ago.
Right.
But it was one of those I revisit it every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it was like always on cable. So I always see it on cable.
Yeah.
I might have had it like on VHS or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. But it was just always super cute.
Yeah.
It was just a really cute movie. And I remember always seeing like the old like DirecTV advertisements for it, and there was a scene where Bette Midler was always chasing after Max on the broom, the broom scene where she's like over the graveyard, I always remember that being advertised for it on like DirecTV. Old, it's old. It's old. Don't mind me. I'm nostalgia.
It's okay.
Waxing nostalgic here.
Well, nostalgia's the key today.
Yeah,
that's the key. Especially for all three projects we're talking about, but
Hocus Pocus, yeah, I always thought Hocus Pocus was 94 also, but I think it was one of those where it was probably like a 93, 94 thing.
Oh, okay.
Because it's being billed as 93.
Okay.
So, who knows?
Made in 93, came out in 94. Could have been one of those.
Potato. Maybe it's one of those where it came out in like a late 93, early 94 thing. I don't know.
Well, let's get to the meat.
So, when I saw the trailer, instantly thought garbage.
Right.
I was like, okay, first of all, 29 years later.
Yeah.
29
30
years later.
Yeah, 30, I think. Yeah.
Well, it's almost 30.
Okay.
It's 2022.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. I'm going to be as nice as I can.
Right.
But 30 years later, some of the cast members are going to be considerably older than they were.
That's how it works?
Than they were in 1993. Considerably older.
Yes.
Like 30 years older.
Yeah.
I'm being nice.
30 years older.
Okay. Now, when you think about what those ladies had to do for their performance in 1993,
right?
What did they have to do? They had to be hammy.
Mm-hmm.
They had to be super high energy.
Right.
They had to be kind of slapsticky.
Mm-hmm.
I was not fully convinced that they would be able to do any of those things.
Okay.
30 years later.
Okay.
And I am very sad to say I was 100% right.
Okay. Now, before we jump into it, we got to talk about me. Yeah, it's my show too. Good.
I wasn't finished with my trailer out.
Okay, go ahead.
The rest of the trailer looked like shit.
Okay, that's it. All right. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's keep this shit-eating hot dog wiener schnitzel driving through rolling adventure. We watched the Munsters. Let's keep it going. So I knew, she was a fan of the first movie, and I bought her the Blu-ray. I thought I seen the movie. I thought I saw Hocus Pocus, but
it was probably a long time ago.
I thought I seen it. I don't think I apparently I didn't, because I didn't remember anything when we watched it. But
really,
I was like, daring her because I was like, you want to watch it to see how bad it is. So let's, right after the Munsters, I was like, let's go watch Hocus Pocus 2 Electric Boogaloo. And we were getting ready to start it, and she stopped it immediately. She's like, we can't do it. You have to watch the first movie first. And I'm like, you sure? She's like, yeah, you got to watch the first movie. So that way it's perfect, just perfect experience to go from the first movie right into the second movie's tragedy. So Samurai Guy, I'm happy to say, actually, I'm really surprised I enjoyed the original Hocus Pocus. I didn't think it was fun. It was over the top. I didn't think I was going to enjoy that movie as much as I did. Even little Thora Birch in that movie was hilarious. And all three of the witches were making me laugh because they were so over the top, but they were kind of reminding me of like a female Three Stooges. You even had the one actress barking like Curly in that movie, but it was just classic 90s, but it was a fun movie. I actually enjoyed the little, fish out of the water moments, made me laugh in the film. It's not a perfect movie, but I was Samurai Guy was surprised. I liked it as much as I did. I thought it was a fun flick. Then I said, well, let's now we've done it now. Let's pop in the second one. And oh boy. Now before we talk about the second one, let's get this out. Let's get this out in the open here. For those of you out there that are diehard motherfucking to the end, diehard fans of the original Hocus Pocus, and you've been waiting for almost 30 years for a sequel. You have been waiting for so long, and then you finally watched it and you enjoyed it. We are happy for you. We are happy for you. The rating, I think, for this is actually a lot higher than we expected it to be. But that means there's a fan base, there's a cult following, and a lot of people enjoyed the film. So for those of you that are watching this right now, for those of you that are watching and you enjoyed it, we are happy that you guys liked it, but we have to be honest.
Good for you.
I wasn't going to be that way about it, but okay. But yeah, if you guys liked it, we're happy for you. But we have to be, it's our channel. We got to be honest.
It's just
our opinion. This is coming from somebody who was a fan of the movie.
Yeah.
And this is coming from somebody who just recently watched the film for the first time going into it. But yeah, right in the beginning of this movie,
Jesus,
I wanted to kill myself. Right at the beginning of this film, we have a flashback showing the young witches as children being overrun by the older religious people of the time, and just show no.
Okay. I'm gonna
5 minutes in, I turned to her and I was like, I'm not gonna make it.
I'm gonna
go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm gonna say something, and again, I'm going to try to be as nice as possible, and I'm gonna fail fucking miserably. Exactly, Eric. Exactly.
Yes.
I am in the minority here.
Okay.
Obviously.
All right.
I cannot fucking stand it when established adult characters have to be portrayed in flashback later on in films by precocious children to show some kind of backstory. Like adult characters that we've seen in a movie prior.
Mm-hmm.
They want to show their backstory in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to show something that happened to them in the past because, we're just clamoring to know their backstory.
Yeah.
And so we got to show something cutesy and funny. And isn't it so goddamn adorable? Isn't it just so hilarious? We found these 3 actresses or actors or kids. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. It does not fucking matter. I don't care.
Okay.
I've seen boys do it. I've seen girls do it. Does not matter.
All right.
But, isn't it just so goddamn funny? Because what is it? Ace Ventura's done it. Dumb and Dumber's done it. Like Nutty I don't know, like all like
it's been done.
Tons of characters have had this done to them.
Yes.
Where isn't it just so funny that little kids have been hired to act like adult versions of these other actors? Isn't it just so funny? It's just so cute and precocious, and they're just doing such an amazing impression of this actor or actress. It's just so funny because kids.
Yes.
Because kids.
Yes.
Now, some people get off on that.
Right.
Some people just think it's the funniest goddamn thing they've ever seen because kids.
Right.
I do not fall into that camp. And to see this and have to sit through it for nearly 20 fucking minutes was insufferable.
Yeah.
And I was starting to worry that this was going to be like most of the fucking movie. I was really starting to worry like this was going to be like 30, 40 minutes because it was running on for goddamn ever.
Okay.
And I was almost starting to rock. Like it was like, oh.
But it's okay though. It's okay. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Because for what we thought was going to be majority of the film until the adult version showed up, it's all right because the movie actually gets better when we're introduced to Bland, Blander, and Blandest. So yeah, Bland, Blander, and Blandest are our protagonists that we follow throughout the film, and we could give no shits about these characters who did not struggle at all. And everything was pretty much given to them. You notice throughout every issue that you think they were going to be in danger, they easily, hey, it's in my pocket. They easily just got out of it. These characters never learn anything. And they never struggle at anything in this film. To the point where Blandest on the far right, she came back towards the end of the movie. And I think you said, who is that? You're like, who are these characters? That was your response.
It was
when Blandest, because Blandest was gone for a long time in the film. We were more following Bland and Blander.
Okay, it was. I knew who she was.
But I get what you're trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
The characters in this movie.
Characters?
Okay. The thing about the original film is, it's a very simple plot. Okay, you have a guy, his little sister. They have just moved to this. They've just moved to Salem from California.
Yeah.
They're the older kid, Max. He's a teenager. Mm-hmm. He's being bullied because he's California. He doesn't believe in the witches and all that.
Right.
And he's too cool for everything. And he doesn't like where he lives because he's just got taken away from all his friends and blah blah blah. Teen angst. Okay. Right. Very simple. Mm-hmm. Okay. He doesn't like where he is, but he meets this girl. And he wants to get with her.
Right.
But no, he's got to, he has to take his little sister out for trick-or-treating. So they go out trick-or-treating. He meets up with the girl again. They go to the old Sanderson house that used to be a museum, but it got shut down. And they find the candle. They light the candle. And they reawaken the Sanderson sisters. Very fucking simple.
Right.
You know who the kid is. You know who the little girl is. You know who the love interest is.
Right.
Very fucking simple.
Right.
This movie takes these two characters and they infer that there's this third character that, they've got this past. And, there's this problem and drama with all three of them.
Don't give a shit.
They don't get along anymore. And, they don't hang out anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like.
For a second, I actually thought we were watching Resident Evil on Netflix.
For a second, I thought, I thought that they were love interests. I thought the one girl
I did too
was in love with the other girl.
Yeah, Blandest was in love with Blander. I
thought Blandest and Bland was like in love with each other, but she was in a straight relationship and in denial with her lesbianness. And I thought, whoa, Disney, are we finally going there? Like we've been hinting at it for years, but we've been too cowardly to do it.
Yeah.
But no, we weren't doing that. We were just doing we just don't have time for each other anymore. And that's where we ended up going by the end of the movie.
Right.
But it was just like by the time they all three get together by the end, it was just like so much dumb shit had happened by the time that they all got together. And it was like there was so much bickering.
I was checking out watching this. I actually was kind of dozing off, I'll be honest. And then I was just like, no, because I don't want to turn the movie off and then wait the next day to finish it. I was like, no, we need to kill this now. So I woke up, and I'm like, all right, let's do this because I don't want to watch this tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I was checking out, man. I really was.
Yeah, and again, it's like the first movie when you're introduced to the Sanderson sisters at the very beginning of the movie, it's they're enchanting kids. They kidnap this one little girl who's the sister of Thackeray Binks. They kill her. They enchant Thackeray Binks, and they.
Oh, you're talking about the first movie, right?
The first movie. They turn him into a cat, and the town captures the witches. And just before they kill them, Winifred casts the spell on all of them and say, "Oh, we're going to come back at one point. Somebody's going to light this candle, and on the grounds that we die on, we're going to come back as soon as they light the candle." Boom, simple.
You guys heard that, right? Little girl gets killed right in the beginning of the movie,
right?
In the original.
Well, in
the Disney movie,
by the end of the movie,
she gets killed.
By the end of the movie,
they suck her soul, and that's it.
By the end of the movie, the candle's power only lasts until sunrise of the next day.
Right.
So by the end of the movie, the sun rises, the candle burns out, and they turn to dust and they die.
Right.
Well, in this next movie, they just reforge some rando that's reinstated the museum.
This guy.
He just reforges the candle. He reinstates the museum. He's reinstated the museum. He reforges the candle.
The book taught him how to reforge the candle.
He gives it to these two girls who have been practicing witchcraft since they were little girls. Like there used to be 3, but now Blander, and Blandest, they've split up and they're now just a duo.
Yeah.
And so they only practice witchcraft together now, the two of them, Bland and Blander.
Right.
They only practice witchcraft together. He gives them a candle on Bland's birthday, and he says, "Here, light this." And so they light it, and that's what brings us.
But didn't he do this? He did it on purpose because he was a fanboy.
He wants to bring them back.
He was a fanboy because as a child, at the end of the first movie, when we have our actual confrontation and the original witch, the 2 other witches explode and all that stuff. He's there seeing everything. And I guess he kind of sides with them and doesn't know they're evil, apparently. And he grows up discovering the lore because he has the book. And he, finds out, oh, they're not as bad as people say they are. And he grows up becoming a fanboy and randomly gives the candle to them too. You notice the whole stick was, especially from the first movie, they kept rubbing it in that the guy was a virgin, that the boy was a virgin, because only a virgin can light the candle to bring the witches back. You notice they didn't even barely mention this with them.
They mentioned it once.
They didn't want to get into that. But the guy got shit the whole movie. Oh, you're a virgin?
Yeah.
But anyway.
So that's it. He just reforges it. Because the book showed him how, and he gives it to her.
Right.
He gives it to Bland and Blander because they're practicing witchcraft the whole movie, kind of, but they don't have any power as of yet. Hint, hint. And lights the candle, and then the Sanderson sisters, they just come back. They just come back, and then they start singing.
They start singing as soon as they arrive.
I would like to remind you that in the first movie, they only sang because Max and his sister Danny went to a party that their parents were at,
Halloween party,
looking for help.
Right.
And the Sanderson sisters followed them there. There was a band playing on a stage.
Right.
Max called them out, thinking that it would corner them and everybody would go, "Oh my God, it's the Sanderson sisters. Look, let's help the kids out."
Right.
And the Sanderson sisters were like, "Oh, oh, well, thanks for that introduction." They get up on the stage, sing a song, and enchant the crowd. And forces them to dance all night till they drop as a distraction, so that they can then go off and hunt Danny and Max for the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
that's the only reason they do the musical
that's
number.
The only
it's obviously
reason.
So that
and it's Bette Midler, so they're gonna have that.
Sing.
But then later we had another song from Amok. We had another song from her.
Oh well, that's to enchant the kids,
which is another enchantment.
But that's enchantment.
But that's it.
But
this is not the original Hocus Pocus. Is not a musical.
It's not a musical.
But as soon as they come back to life,
they literally start singing.
The witches are back. 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 They're back.
They just start singing, and I'm just like, Do they remember? Do they watch the first movie? Did they realize that there was a reason? Or am I asking stupid questions now? Never mind. I just answered my own stupid question. I did ask a stupid question. I retract my stupid question. And at one point they try to excuse their stupid script writing by one of the girls running away and asking, who are they performing for? And Sarah Jessica Parker, her character's name is Sarah, pops up in front of them and goes, you, and
singing for you,
blah 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 blah. But yeah, just the movie, it's one of those member-berry movies.
It's bland,
as you would expect. It's a member-berry movie,
but not even clever or entertaining, like insulting actually. And I just watched the original and I'm watching this movie, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? There's this random scene in the original where Sarah Jessica Parker, because she's loopy, she's not that smart, her character, so she's just hanging from the gate and just while the other two are bickering and arguing. And in this movie, she just randomly grabs on something and hanging for 5 seconds. You can barely see it in the background. And I'm like, why? And then she does the amok. She does that again.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, this is like not funny or charming or member. This is kind of insulting. Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of the fish out of the water jokes that were funny in the original, they do it again, and they weren't funny. Like, maybe a few of them were kind of chuckle worthy, a little. But I'm just sitting here like, we did this already.
And then poor Doug Jones.
We did this already. Doug Jones
was.
He played a zombie in the original, and he's fucking great.
Billy the Butcher.
He's great character.
So they bring him back.
And he did. You know what he did? You know what Doug Jones should have just been? You know what he should have been doing the whole time? I felt like Doug Jones should have been at the breakfast table eating fucking cereal with Grandpa. Because what was the fucking point of bringing him back?
They bring him back, and I've been asleep this whole time. Like they brought me back to life in 1993. But they never put me back to sleep, like basically put him back to death. So I've just been awake, asleep in my grave for this whole time. So he just so basically the spell that the Winifred sisters need calls for the blood for the head of a former lover. So Winifred's like, oh, we'll go get Billy the Butcher. They tell the new henchman that they have.
Right.
And so he goes to dig up Billy, and Billy just pops up out of his grave, and he's like, oh yeah, I've still been here this whole time. And so he goes with the new henchman and helping him find all these things, thinking that he's going to help stop Winifred, but not knowing that he's actually helping Winifred.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he finds out, he just takes his head, and Billy is literally just a head for the rest of the movie.
He's just a head.
So Doug Jones is basically there as a head on a stone.
And it moved weird. It almost looked like he was like he was CGI face expressions. Like, why did he move weird? They couldn't just hide the rest of Doug Jones' body and have him act. It was fucking weird. And some of the effects, even if it's straight to Disney Plus, and even if it's low budget, some of that green screen was bad. It was not good.
And the thing is, obviously, the first movie had bad special effects, but it was 1993.
Right, it was 1993.
It was almost 30 years ago.
But just we're regurgitating a lot of the same shit from the first movie. Hey, remember when they lost their brooms in the first movie and they had to get a mop and funny items to fly again? Well, it happens again.
Well, this one they have a broom, a Swiffer, and 2 Roomba vacuums.
It's funny. It's funny.
It's hilarious.
Oh, hey, we're gonna enchant the crowd again to do our bidding, to leave the ditch the crowd.
Yeah.
They were looking for because the religious priest that was fucking with them when they were kids. They found the descendant, so they're trying to get revenge on the descendant. And so they have another song again. They enchant the crowd again. And the whole point of that scene was to have the crowd look for the mayor or whatever the fuck he was.
And they find
him.
They
ditch the crowd.
They find the mayor.
So they're making that whole scene pointless.
So they find him, and then they're like, oh, what were we doing? And then they just walk away. Didn't they find him? And then they were just like, oh. They
didn't find him with the crowd, though.
No, I mean, they found the mayor found the crowd.
Right.
And then they kind of just like dissipated.
Once they touched the mayor, they like found him. The spell went, and then they went their own way.
Right.
But it was just the witches decided to not follow them to find the mayor.
I don't know.
What was the point?
I don't know.
Yeah. And now, okay. Credit to them, especially at their age. I think they tried.
No, they tried.
They're still, by default, the really only reason to watch the movie. Even though the movie does not really give them enough to do, or what they're given is not really that funny compared to the shenanigans in the first Hocus Pocus. And it was like, even with a fun family Disney movie like the original Hocus Pocus, there was stakes. Like, there was a little bit of suspense, and there were stakes in that over-the-top comedic movie. Like I said, the little girl in the beginning, she got killed, dead. Right in the beginning of the movie. We can't risk any of that today. And this is a new theme I'm going to bring up now. Disney has lost its balls. Disney, where's your balls? They've lost their balls. And we're going to get to that even more so with the next movie. But with this, there was no, these blander and blandest did nothing. You notice when they were introduced to the Super Salem witch with the bad outfit with the eyeball in the stomach, whatever the fuck that was horrible outfit. She gives them a book because she senses that the one in the middle, what's her name?
Winifred.
She senses Winifred has powers. So she gives her the book and she warns her there's a super spell in there called the super spell because we can't write a script. And don't use that super spell because if you do, it's going to be bad. Wah, right? Well, at the end of the movie...
And even the book doesn't want to let her... The book won't let you do it either.
Right. At the end, I think that was the only kind of chuckle-worthy of that scene in the second film was the book kind of fucking with her. But by the end of the movie, Blander in the middle there, she's like the new chosen one who has powers because she's Wiccan. And even though, it's just like everything is just random. Like, the witches are attacking her and she just makes a force field because it's just like, are they going to go through any, not them, are they going to go through any struggles or is there going to be any suspense? Again, the original movie killed a child in the beginning. I tried to get a picture, but I couldn't get it in time. But this is another perfect example of how Disney has lost their balls. All right. So they figure out that, if they put salt around them, around the witches are allergic to the salt, the powers don't work, the spells don't work. So they trap the witches in a garage at a house. I think it was the mayor's house, whatever the fuck. So just picture this. You're looking at the movie and you're seeing on this side the three witches, these three actresses that are trying their best at their age to be entertaining. Imagine them three in a fucking car garage surrounded by salt and they can't get out and they can't do their thing. And we pan a little bit to the left and we have Blander and Blandis talking about who gives a fuck on the left-hand side. Now, take that whole entire boring sequence, throw it away, and let's rewind to the original movie where little itty-bitty Thora Birch, her older brother, and his love interest burn the three witches alive. They trap them on purpose to murder them. They burn them alive, and then they walk away and they go get some McDonald's. Okay? Of course, the witches didn't, after they died, they were able to come back and then the movie kept going. But I'm just letting you know, Disney's lost their balls. We're going to continue that with Pinocchio. But just nothing, no suspense, no stakes. Everything's so safe and fucking bland and boring and unfunny. I think the movie had a few kind of chuckle-worthy moments. But overall, it was a waste of these actresses' time to bring them back. They probably had a great time, and they were probably happy that they finally got a chance to do the sequel. But Doug, just wasting him. And even a waste of this actor here, who I actually like. We like this actor. Waste of him, and we loved him in the horror comedy. This is an extremely underrated horror comedy that you guys need to check out. And believe it or not, this is actually based off a video game. So technically, this is an awesome video game film. Werewolves Within. Just watch this movie. Fuck Hocus Pocus 2. It's sad. This is not as bad as Munsters Revenge. And believe it or not, this is actually not as bad as the Munsters.
Yeah.
But Disney, they're not going to listen to us as many times as we say it. But this needs to stop. Kind of going off of what you said earlier, where we're taking these, we like these characters because not them, not Blander and Blandis. We like these characters because they're fucking evil, because they're fun.
Yeah.
That's the fucking point.
So what do you do in modern age? What do you do in the modern age? Once again, you take 3 established characters that reveled in their villainry back
and it
in
was
the day.
Fun to watch them. That's the point.
And so what do you have to do in the modern era? You have to make them empathetic.
Yes.
You have to make them sympathetic. You take them and, what's their motivation? What's the motivation now? Oh, well, Winifred was just trying to protect her sisters the whole time. What did she spend the whole movie doing in the first movie? Beating the shit out of her sisters because they irritated the fuck out of her.
And
no,
sucking children's souls.
No, it turns out
be younger.
No, it turns out she just loved her sisters a lot. That's her motivation the whole time.
Yeah.
And so, what happens in this movie? Well, she finally gets what she wants in the super duper powerful spell. She gets to have the ultimate power.
Right.
Well, the power is meant to be shared with the coven. And so she for a second, all 3 witches finally get powers, but the cost is that the other 2 witches turn to dust and she loses her sisters. And that makes Winifred sad.
Yeah.
So Winifred loses her sisters and she starts to cry.
It's like you gain the power, but you lose something.
And she goes, I didn't want this. I didn't want to lose my sisters. I love my sisters. I love my sisters the whole time. They didn't irritate the hell out of me, and I didn't spend my whole life beating the shit out of them. I didn't spend my whole life just wanting power and sucking souls and being evil. No, I really love my sisters. I just wanted my sisters. My sisters. I love my sisters.
Yeah.
No, my motivation was my sisters. And so the new Bland witch is now a coven because the 3 of them now have power.
Yes.
Because they're a coven
because they have powers.
Because they used to practice witchcraft, and so now they're now coven.
They got Jedi Force powers.
That's what it is now.
Right.
So now she finds, because the book chose her now, because the book told her, hey, you don't have to go with Winifred. I know you don't really want to do the super duper evil powerful spell. You don't have to be with Winifred anymore. You can come with me. And so the book chooses her now, Bland. So Bland has the book. And so the book shows her a new spell that can help Winifred. And so she does this spell, and Winifred thinks she's going to get her sisters back.
Yeah.
And she goes, what happens? And she goes, well, the spell doesn't give you your sisters back. It sends you to your sisters. And so it sends Winifred off to her sisters, and Winifred disappears and goes and bees with her sisters. Yeah. And so happy ending. The Winifred sisters aren't really evil. They really loved each other the whole time. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And then while all of that was happening, she sacrificed her super de-duper powers to be with her sisters because love. While that's happening, do you remember what I told you? Right at that moment, I turned to her and I said, the book's going to start crying.
That's right, you did.
I fucking called that shit. I said, watch. Soon as she starts floating away, the camera's going to go to the book.
You did.
Because the book has an eyeball in the front. And the book started fucking crying.
You did say that. You were right. There was a little tear.
I'm the fucking man.
Oh my God.
Fucking horrible. Okay. Terrible. but back to and just here's another good example of just regurgitating member berries and not being clever with it. So you have the iconic shot of all the sisters looking for the kids in the original, and they have this walk, and they walk together and they look like this, right? And they're doing that in the middle of the night down the street. That was their thing. Well, hey, let's recreate that iconic walk together, but let's do it in a fucking Walgreens. That's the best we have for the sisters.
Didn't
just doing it in a fucking Walgreens. So they're in a fucking Walgreens doing this.
Didn't Bland
get the fuck out of here, dude?
Do it at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, and just to add more insult to injury, After Blander, and Blandis defeat the witches easily with no struggle or anything, they start walking out up the street, and for no reason, they slowly start doing the walk. And they even say to themselves, "Why are we walking like this? I don't know." Credits. Fuck you. And I have no attachment to this fucking franchise. I just recently watched this movie yesterday.
Oh man.
Dude. And then still, if that wasn't enough to set up Hocus Pocus 3, the blandiest of them all, in the opening credits there's a scene at the end. At the end credits, there's a scene at the end where they show the black cat and he jumps on the shelf in the store, and you see another book or a fucking box, and it says there's another dark candle in there. So they're setting up a sequel that no one's gonna want to watch, because
some people are gonna want it.
You know what they're gonna do? This is gonna fail. If they do a Hocus Pocus 3 without the actresses that carried the franchise as best as they could, and they go with these three, it's dead on arrival. So you know what they're gonna do?
Oh, Jesus.
Whole entire movie with these three.
Oh.
That's what they're going to do.
That I can't.
That's what they're going to do.
I can't.
So before we move on to
my tolerance only goes so far.
Yeah. So here we go. Jumping off of what you said earlier, you're taking classic evil villainry characters, and in the origin story, let's not keep them evil for today's audience, because Disney thinks today's audience is fucking stupid. Let's change it. And they're actually likable. They were misunderstood. Just like they did that with this movie. Disney's just going to keep doing this shit. They're just going to keep doing it. They're going to take classic villain characters, and they're going to keep trying to make them sympathetic, because they keep making a lot of fucking money. And guess what's right around the corner? All my beautiful, sexy badasses. Guess what's right around the corner? Yes. Mufasa movie is coming. An origin story of Mufasa. You did not know this? You didn't know this? I've just broken Lady Phatblood. I thought she knew this, guys. I thought she knew this. Yes. Oh, what are you doing? You okay? Oh, she's holding a little pinhead Funko Pop. It's all right. It's gonna be okay, baby. That's all right. We're here. Movie Dojo Army's got your back. Yes, because one of the greatest Disney villains of all time. Let's make an origin story and show him and why he's just misunderstood.
No, Mufasa. No, Mufasa is the king.
What's up?
Mufasa is the king.
Oh my God!
That makes even less sense.
I'm sorry, guys.
That makes even less sense.
I'm that annoyed with Hocus Pocus 2. I don't know why. I was just like, oh, another Disney movie. Fuck you.
But to your point.
Sorry, guys.
To your point.
I can admit my wrongdoing. Sorry. I don't know why I thought that was like some bullshit.
No, but
I thought that was like another villain. Yeah.
To the point, though, Scar would be in that because they grew up together.
Right. Well, it is an origin story.
That's so fucking stupid.
Sorry, guys.
Disney, you know what? I blame the... Keep my goddamn mouth shut. Have your energy shot before I take it.
Oh shit! I'll drink it in a minute. I'm sorry, guys. I was that annoyed.
I'm gonna go fill it up when
I was that annoyed. I just saw this and I was like, let me get, because I'm already angry. I'm tired of these origin story movies, and I totally just fucked up the names.
Who asked for this? Who asked for this?
Oh, Eric, there you go. Eric's got jokes. It's a classic joke, though. Yeah. So anyway, I'm still glad I brought it up, because it just shows that Disney doesn't know what they're doing. But yeah, I'm done talking about this, and let's keep going about Disney losing their balls. Oh man, that was fucking funny. Even when Samurai Guy botches, it's funny. Yeah, let's go ahead and rate this. Not as bad as Munsters.
I'm still giving this shit a D. D.
Giving it a D.
This is one step above the Munsters, just because it was stupid. It was pointless.
Yeah.
It's not the trash I was expecting.
Thanks for the super chat, Nate Dog. Thank you, man. He said woke Hollywood sucks.
It's not the trash I was expecting. Like, this could have been so much worse. Like, so much worse.
Yeah.
But it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
It's harmless. It's just fucking annoying. Just
like
fluff.
yeah, I'm nostalgic for the first movie, and I admit I could totally.
It's fun.
I admit I could totally be looking at this through rose-colored lenses.
Yeah.
I can see why the first movie is nostalgic and cult classic status.
Right.
I cannot see this movie being a cult classic in 30 years. 30 years from now may prove me wrong.
You don't see people dressing up as blander, and blandest.
I'm saying 30 years may prove me wrong, and people could be popping in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, well, now I'm really glad that I brought up Mufasa and totally mixed up the names, because Disney claimed that it will be like Godfather 2. She's lost it. NSG, what did you do, NSG? NSG, what'd you do? My botching Mufasa is all worth it now. It's all worth it now.
Disney, you fucking wish. You fucking wish.
You know I gotta play it. I gotta play it. All worth it. All worth it.
Yeah. And Obi-Wan was like Logan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was like
yeah, it's exactly like that. Yeah, absolutely. Oh God.
I think getting De Niro for this.
Oh fucking hell.
Yeah, all worth it. All worth it. Thank you, NSG. Thank you for sharing that. But yeah, you know what? You're giving it what are you giving us a D? You're giving us a D? Yes. I'm giving this a D minus. D minus.
Oh no.
And you know why?
Fucking hell.
You know why? The fandom deserves better. The fandom that has supported this, the fandom that's made this a cult classic, deserves a better movie. And yeah, D minus for me. Woo! Oh man, we got some good stuff tonight, man. We are getting into it here. But yeah, we're done with Hocus Pocus. We're done. I think there was something else I wanted to say. I'm trying to remember, but I can't remember right now. Oh, last thing.
Getting exactly what they want.
Last thing.
Maybe that's what's happening.
What?
This is exactly what everybody wants.
They want bland.
Yes.
They want bland and safe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But I'll end it with this, and then we'll go to another botched Disney nostalgia trip. I could see people enjoying Hocus Pocus 2. Obviously, we've seen some of the scores are very high, and I'm glad they enjoyed it. But this seems to be a trend recently, and I'm kind of tired of seeing it, but that's just me. My opinion doesn't matter. But I think all of you guys out there, I think all of you badasses, I think you guys deserve better. And I think this new trend of, hey, it wasn't that bad, being praised upon like the 5 out of 5 stars. Hey, that was okay. It was all right. It wasn't that bad. 5 out of 5 stars. That trend, pray. That trend needs to stop. Just because something is fine and it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be, doesn't mean that particular project deserves to be up there with the fucking movie gods. Okay.
Ooh, Eric.
Because
Eric.
What?
I like that.
Because if we're going with that route, then give me a good example. Give me another one besides Prey. Give me something else.
Oh God.
That means Terminator Salvation is a 5-star movie. Terminator Salvation, if that came out today, 5 stars.
Yeah.
A+. No. Terminator Salvation comes out today, better than the original. Higher score on Rotten Tomatoes than the original for the first 2 films. That seems to be the vibe I'm getting recently. And I don't think it's right. I really don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
I think if you legitimately love that movie, and to you personally, you love that movie and you think that movie's 5 stars, that makes more sense than people giving something a ridiculously high rating for something that was fine because it didn't insult them that much.
No.
That needs to stop. So,
yeah.
All right. What did Eric say here? Hold on.
Eric said, "In the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king."
Thanks, Nate, for another super chat, man. I appreciate it.
I like that.
He says, Hocus Pocus is a good movie. Second movie sucked.
No, I like what Eric said.
Eric says, in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. King. Gotcha. All right. All right. Here we go. Let's keep going here.
I'm not ready for this.
We got to keep going.
I've got nothing. Okay.
This doesn't even have to be that long.
It won't be. Okay. So this is kind of the opposite for me.
Yeah.
I watched.
Can I steal some of your water? My throat's gone.
I don't have much left. Me neither.
Right.
So Pinocchio. I didn't watch it as a child. I can't remember ever watching the movie all the way through, to be perfectly honest with you.
1940.
Yeah.
Old school.
I never watched it as a kid. I probably did see it all the way through at some point.
Yeah.
Not attached to the story, not attached to the movie at all. I can appreciate it from an animation standpoint because of its age. But I don't particularly like the film. I don't hate the film.
Yeah.
Listen to what I just said, because some people take my words and they don't listen to what I say. When I say a movie is deeply flawed, but I enjoy it for what it is.
That's called honesty.
This is what they hear. Oh, so you didn't like the movie. What did I just say? I said the movie is deeply flawed, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh, so you hated it. Motherfucker. Listen to what I just said. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't love the film, but I didn't hate it. But I can appreciate it.
Right.
Did you hear me?
Right.
I appreciate it.
Right.
But I don't have any attachment to it. So, having said that,
right,
I cannot understand for the life of me what people's fascination and excitement is for this string of Disney live action remakes are, when every time a trailer is announced or an upcoming project is announced for these live action remakes, so many people are like, "Oh, I'm so excited." And I'm like, just go watch the original.
Right.
It's just go watch the original. They're shorter. They're more interesting to look at visually. They're vastly more entertaining.
Yep.
You know, most of the time from what I've seen, you know, even though I don't care for Sleeping Beauty. I don't care for Cinderella. Most of the classics I've never really seen. I don't really, subscribe to as a child.
But you're a fan of Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like Lion King, Mulan, Tarzan, all the old.
You like Mulan?
Mulan?
Yeah, I didn't know you like Mulan. Oh, I'm thinking of Pocahontas.
No, I didn't.
I'm sorry.
I think I've seen Pocahontas, but I didn't really.
Yeah, Mulan's fun.
Yeah, I like Mulan.
The animated movie.
Yes.
It's fun.
When The Little Mermaid came out, I liked The Little Mermaid, but now I don't care. But when I was little, I liked The Little Mermaid. I admit it. But now it's not my.
We destroyed the tape.
Yeah.
Samurai Guy got 4 sisters.
I had the clamshell. I had the clamshell with the dicks on it.
Yeah, I did too. We should have kept that.
And yes, that was the thing.
That was the thing. There was a dick on the front of the cover.
There were several dicks on the cover.
See, I told you Disney lost their balls.
So
hashtag put the dick back on the cover.
Yes. Hashtag give me the dicks. But having said all of that, the movies. Here's the thing.
Oh shit.
The original songs sound better. The voice acting is better.
The animation is beautiful.
The animation is gorgeous. It's visually stunning. Like the colors are brighter. It's better to watch. It's shorter. It's more fun to watch. It's just a better overall experience. The movies, they're longer. The new songs that they add are horrible. They add nothing. The new characters that they tend to add, the new plot points that I've seen, I haven't seen all of the live action remakes, but the ones that I have seen, they add nothing. So in my opinion, to me, I don't understand the appeal. I understand Disney's appeal. They want the money. They get the money.
This is why they keep doing it.
I know why Disney does it. But the people that enjoy these things, I'm sorry. I don't understand your point of view, and I'm not knocking you. I just don't understand it.
I think I'm gonna take a shot at it. It's nostalgia. They grew up with the animated movies, and they take their families to see these films. They watch these movies, these live action versions at home with their families. It's nostalgia. They're having their kids watch the live action movie, and everybody has a good time. That's why Lion King made so much money. That's what it is.
But for me, it's like But
it doesn't make them good movies.
But for me, when you do like a side-by-side comparison, and I know I've ran Beauty and the Beast into the ground.
Check on our review.
When you do a side-by-side comparison, just the colors alone of Beauty and the Beast and the designs alone of Beauty and the Beast, there is no comparison. You have a lively, beautiful, like fun to watch, fun to look at, striking thing to look at. And you have this bland, uninspired, just ugly, just boring, toned down, monotone looking piece of filth on the right, which is the live action version. And to me, that's what the live action versions are. And they're only getting worse. So for me to have absolutely no attachment to Pinocchio.
I do, but
okay.
And it's funny. It's funny you brought that up. This is the total opposite of Hocus Pocus.
It is the total opposite of Hocus Pocus. To go in and have no expectations, no attachment. And within 10 seconds, know you're in trouble. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing feeling.
It's fascinating.
And I think we both knew we were in trouble within the same amount of time.
Right.
As soon as Jiminy Cricket opens his goddamn mouth, like as soon as the Disney thing, like the Disney thing, because he starts in on it like right away.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live action Disney movie.
Welcome to another live action cash grab.
And guess what? We got your money. That's right. You paid for that Disney Plus. The only reason you watch this right now. We got your money. But Jiminy Cricket in the original film, when I watched it as a kid, I just didn't instantly want to step on him. I wanted him to die instantly. Like I was like, oh fuck, we're in trouble. This movie is fascinating to the point where I said to her, I'm like, man, the look of this movie, I've never seen a movie look so expensive and extremely cheap at the exact same goddamn time. That's what this movie is. It looks expensive and cheap at the same time. That's a feat. That's pretty impressive, I might add. But yeah, I grew up with the film. I haven't seen it in years. But yeah, I liked it when I was a kid. The donkey transformation sequence when I was a little samurai guy, that kind of freaked me out. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck's going on?
We got a little kid yelling for his mother. And then you see it's implied in the shadow, and it's in silhouette.
Yeah, it's almost
silhouette.
Yeah, he's
a little kid crying for his mom. It's like, that would scare any little kid.
Yeah, and Pinocchio's face, he's like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, this movie is a perfect example of we're just keeping that level of generic, bland, and safe. There's nothing. It's just fluff. And it's just, why bother? And, just nothing visually impressive at all, And it was funny, the legendary Rick Myers, he was on our stream yesterday, and he was giving his thoughts on the film, and he brought up the fact that we have a scene where Pinocchio's fascinated with a pile of shit, flies going around it, and he's like there for like 2 minutes, fascinated with a pile of shit. And Rick Myers is like, Is the director trying to say something about his own movie? But this is Robert fucking Zemeckis. This movie's so bad, I don't want to hear shit about fucking Beowulf. All right? I'm like the only guy that likes Beowulf. Everyone hates that fucking movie. I don't want to hear shit anymore after this fucking shit. But yeah, I mean, we spend, it feels like an eternity. We're introduced to Geppetto's house, and it's just an eternity. I feel like we're never gonna fucking leave his house. Feels like we're in there for like 35 minutes.
We're given this backstory of he was married. It's implied he had a kid, but he died. And none of that was in the original. He was just a lonely old dude.
He always wanted a son.
Yeah, and that was enough.
That's it.
That was enough.
Simple.
It seemed like the original movie because we went back after watching this.
Do you know why? Because the whole time I was watching this version, I was like, I don't remember that happening.
Yeah.
I don't remember it happening that way.
Yeah.
Bullshit. It did not happen that way. That was the whole. And then afterwards, because since the original is still on Disney Plus, and I'm surprised it's not edited. I am stunned. The original cartoon movie is not edited, and we'll get into why.
Yeah,
we're surprised. But go ahead.
Yeah, it was amazing how things happened in the original, and again, it boils down to barely an hour and 20 the original versus about 2 hours runtime.
It felt like 3 hours. Yeah,
unnecessary, and things happen so quickly in the original that are so much more effective.
Yes,
in the animated version. Geppetto, he's lonely. He makes the little boy. He makes a wish, and the blue fairy comes down, makes Pinocchio, alive, and Geppetto's like, hey, you're alive, whatever.
Yeah.
And sends him off to school, and we have our story. But in this movie, it takes fucking goddamn forever.
Yes.
Just for him to carve the fucking little boy, it seems.
Yes.
Just for the fucking blue fairy to come down, it seems.
We're forever in this fucking.
We are in that.
Jesus Christ.
We're forever with, and again, baffling decisions are made. And where do we toe the line in calling this a live action movie? Because you've got Jiminy Cricket, who's animated.
Right.
You've got fucking Figaro, who's animated to look just like the fucking
Figaro,
who looks just like the cat in the animated version. You've got most of the other animated characters that look just like the animated version. Pinocchio, obviously animated.
Yeah.
You've got
the fox.
You've got the blue fairy. You've got Geppetto, and you've got Luke Evans, and you've got some of the town folk that are real.
Yeah.
And then everything else is fucking fake. So where do you get off calling this live action?
Yeah.
Again, it's like, why do you make some things look just like the fucking animated version?
Well, technically, a lot of people say Lion King's live action, but
it's
like, not. It's CG animated.
It's like, no, it's fucking not. The whole goddamn movie, that whole movie is animated.
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up with that. That's none of it is.
Oh, hold on. I got to represent my peeps. I got to represent the other sexy movie loving badasses up in here. What? Seller. That's right. Seller. That's right. We got, oh shit. Hey, that's right. I thought I was alone in the whole universe. Damn it. That's right. Got to give shout out here. And oh yes, Eric. It's Eric. Jesus Christ, me and you, bro. I swear. I feel like I'm the only guy that watched Christopher Lambert play Beowulf, but Gerard Butler did as well. But yeah. Again, it's almost the exact same story. It's pretty much the same.
It took way too long.
Too long.
Way too long for him to just get out of the damn house to go to school.
Yeah.
Way too long.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there just like waiting for anything to happen. But no, they have to make Geppetto super sympathetic.
Yeah.
Which again, the 10 minutes it took in the fucking live in the animated version was enough.
Yeah.
But this one, no, you had to give him the sad backstory and you had to give him the clock thing and the dead wife and the dead kid thing.
And we're fans of Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is one of the greatest actors of all time. And his accent is fucking terrible.
Eric agreed.
It's really bad.
Agreed, Eric.
Figaro, Pinocchio. And if you watch the movie, which I don't recommend, by the end, Tom Hanks just says, fuck it. He loses his accent several times. At the end, he's just Tom Hanks, just talking. What did Eric say?
He said efficient storytelling is a lost art. I agree.
Yes. But yeah, and then all of the songs, they use, for the most part, they're the same songs. But like she said, these live action, and like I said yesterday with Rick Myers, a lot of these live action movies, they try to add more songs, and these extra songs suck, and they're not good. We're just extending the fucking movie, and just, I'm rolling my eyes because I'm not invested. So even when I hear the iconic songs that I remember growing up listening to, this is my reaction. Hi, diddly dee. Will someone please kill me? That's my reaction to the fucking movie. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, and again, like I said with Rick Myers yesterday, what do they have on Luke Evans?
Yeah.
They have some photos, they have some leaks, some tweets.
Yeah.
They're like, we got you for life. Any other? I'm surprised he's not playing the prince in The Little Mermaid.
Oh.
At this point, because he's fun. Oh yeah, he's too old, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, Luke Evans, buddy, you're such a talented actor. Seriously, like, what have they got against you? Again, going back to the movie looking expensive and cheap at the same time, it seems like when they finally get to Pleasure Island, it seems like all of the budget of the movie went there because there's a lot of visually big, grand things to look at, and this is where me, fan of the original, I'm like, bullshit. Here we go with Disney losing their fucking balls. And it's sad. It's sad when Disney, of all things, it's just we don't want to offend anyone. And I get it. 1940, it was a different time. I get it. There's a Flintstones cartoon. Flintstones old, commercial. Black and white commercial back in the day, and he's talking about smoking cigarettes.
Winston cigarettes.
My doctor said that
pregnant women need to smoke. It relaxes the fetus.
Right. Like, I get it. It was a different time, but it's still sad to see. And a lot of these, I had to go back to the original movie. I'm like, wait a minute. And I knew I wasn't incorrect. I was like, it's just so bad. And here's a good example of what I'm talking about with Disney losing their fucking balls. All right, here we go. So he goes to Pleasure Island, and the whole thing of him trying to become an actor to get known and famous, that goes awry. He meets up with this one-legged girl, or something's wrong with her fucking leg.
Did you think something was missing from the movie? How about a pointless character that has a bad leg who wants to be a ballerina? So she makes a puppet that is special, and the puppet dances, and she sings a song with a puppet, and the character disappears from the movie just to show up later for one scene.
Yeah.
And that goes absolutely nowhere. Did you think that would add to the film? Did you want to see that in the original?
And she has her own song sequence.
Yeah. Did you think that would add to the movie? Because they did.
Yeah. That was why.
Yeah.
So anyway, he gets wrapped up and he gets sent to Pleasure Island. And at first, everything's just like the original cartoon. It seems like all the kids are having fun. They can eat all the candy they want. They can do whatever they want. There's no bad adults there, right? They can do what they want. And then Luke Evans in disguise is basically he changes them into donkeys and uses them pretty much for slave labor. That was in the original. And it's kind of similar here. But, you have a kid turn into a CGI donkey. Nothing's frightening about that. Nothing scary about that. But here's what I'm talking about with Disney losing their balls. As soon as we get to Pleasure Island, I was like, wait, hold on a second. Hold on. So when we went to the original, there is, you can mention your favorite one. There is, they're basically, all the children are basically handed beer and cigarettes, right? So check this out. So to not scare the shit out of adults, they play it safe. They constantly remind you in this entire sequence that Pinocchio and the kids are drinking root beer. They're drinking root beer. They had to say it like 5 goddamn times. There's a scene where they're on, Pinocchio's like on some kind of roller coaster thing, and there's another kid coming the other way, and he goes, give me that root beer. Kids don't talk that way. You know what kids do? This is what kids do. That's what kids do. But they want to hammer it in. They want the parents to panic. Give me that root beer. It's root beer. Give me a root beer. And I was just like, that sums up Disney right there. Give me that root beer. Scared, just scared to, they don't want to offend anyone.
They don't want to imply anything.
They don't want to apply anyone.
No drugs.
There was no cigarettes.
No implied drug or alcohol use, which is what you don't want your children to do.
Yes.
You don't want your children to be drug users.
That was the kind of the point of Pinocchio. Was
you drink and you smoke, you're going to become a jackass. That's the whole point.
That's the point.
But no.
Give me that root beer.
And in this version,
give me that root beer.
In this version,
yes,
it's not smoking and drinking that leads you to become a jackass. It's bullying.
Bullying.
And calling people bad names. You're stupid. Yeah. You're ugly. Okay.
This is a scene.
Listen to me.
There's a section on Pleasure Island.
Listen to me.
Where kids go up on a mic and they insult other kids.
I'm not going to say that bullying is not. I'm not going to say it's not that it's not a serious issue. Okay. Yeah. It's not that bullying is a good thing.
Bullying is bad. Yes.
Yes. It's obvious that obviously you don't want your kids to be a bully. You don't want your kids to be an asshole
or be bullied. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Nobody wants that.
Right.
But the way this was handled was so goddamn ludicrous and idiotic and childish.
Yeah.
The way it was handled was so laughable that no kid was going to get the message that this was supposed to be taken seriously.
Right.
This was not something that you would connect the dots that this was what was turning kids into jackasses. And this is not something that you would be like, oh, I want to avoid
child slave labor. That's if you do wrong, it's gonna go bad for you. That's the point of Pinocchio. That's like 80% of the message. And so we don't want to offend anybody. So give me that root beer. And then I get it. I kind of understand them taking this scene out, but here's another example of Disney losing their fucking balls. So they came up with we're going to insult other kids. You fat piece of shit. Well, they don't say piece of shit. Yeah. It's Disney. You loser. You pathetic. Right? Guess what happens in the original? It's a fucking Royal Rumble. It's a battle royal. It is a tent made up just for fighting. I'm not making this up. So you have the one kid who thinks he's the shit, right? And then Pinocchio's just kind of following him. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He's trying to be cool kid. He's trying to be cool like the other kids. They walk into a tent and you see like hundreds of silhouettes in there. Everybody fighting with bats and shit. And the kid that walks in there, he's like, yeah, come on, Pinocchio. Let's go rough some guys up. Let's go rough them up. That happened in the original cartoon movie. But no, you stupid, you fat, stupid kid. Disney lost their balls. Now, I'm going to show, I got some GIFs of the original one. So we go from, here we go. Yeah, that's what you think it is. Yes. There was a message to this movie. Okay. Yeah. Pinocchio. No, look at this. Look what happens. Pinocchio got fucked up. Are you guys seeing this? This is the message of the original movie, right? No, Pinocchio got wasted. He got wasted. But no. Give me that root beer. Yeah. Annoying. But it's just not just that. Just afterwards, just no tension, no suspense, nothing, bland, generic. You forget about it after you're done watching it. And here's another example of just laziness. So at the end of the movie, we have this sequence here where they end up inside the sea monster, right? Because I guess having the regular whale was not interesting enough. So they made this sea monster. Well, they end up inside the sea monster. They break out. They try to get to shore, get to safety. So they came up with this gimmick of Pinocchio is able to move his limbs ridiculously fast. And they first, which is not in the original cartoon. So when he's dancing earlier, he's moving and trying to dance so fast, he almost sets himself on fire. If he would have set himself on fire completely, I would have laughed hysterically if that would have happened.
It would have been nice. The movie would have been over.
Yeah, but in this part, they're getting chased by the sea monster. This is the finale. Okay, they're getting chased by the sea monster. So guess what Pinocchio does? He moves his wooden leg limbs ridiculously fast, and they're moving super fast, and they get away from the sea monster. And while he's doing that, he's annoying his dad, telling him about his whole adventure, and they safely make it to the end. And then, they try to have this heartwarming moment where he walks off in the fucking sunset with his dad and becomes a real boy, whatever the fuck.
Kind of.
And then at the end, and then we go right back to the movie, narrated by Jimmy the Cricket, and he's all like, well, that's the end of the movie. Did Pinocchio become a real boy? Who the fuck cares? I don't know. We got your fucking money. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Right? Well, even with the finale, it fails because when you watch the original one, there's actual tension, suspense. There's no Pinocchio has superpowers or super ability. They literally barely survived from being killed. And there was a little bit of suspense there at the end of that movie. It was a big deal how they got away. They barely got away with their own lives. That was the point. But no, we got to come up with everything being a gimmick and being bland and safe. No tension. We don't want to scare anybody. Give me that root beer. And that's Pinocchio. So let's go ahead and move on and rate this some of a bitch. And you know what I'm giving it? I'm right up there with Rick Myers. This is an F-.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Trash.
It's nothing. It's heartless. It's soulless. It has no reason to exist. And I can't believe that the guy that did the Back to the Future film and Forrest Gump.
What the fuck?
I know he did the trilogy, but for me, the first one is the best for Back to the Future. But I just can't believe that he did this. And this movie is nothing. It's nothing.
Nothing.
There's no heart to this.
No heart.
I have no connection to the original. And this is just, there's nothing to this movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason for this movie to exist. And I can't imagine. I can imagine some people enjoying it and thinking it's cute and loving it, but it's just not. There's just nothing.
Stop making these movies. Oh, by the way, I was going to bring this up last weekend when I didn't feel well, but just quick, since we're talking Disney. I've actually never seen The Great Mouse Detective. I don't know how that's happened. And she loves Sherlock Holmes books and material and stuff, movies and stuff, and shows. So she showed me The Great Mouse Detective. Did we watch that after Pinocchio?
I think so.
Yes, we wanted to watch.
Palate cleanser.
It was a palate cleanser. I really enjoyed The Great Mouse Detective. You can't go wrong with. It was fun. You can't go wrong with Vincent Price as the main villain. So yeah, I forgot to mention that we had to watch The Great Mouse Detective afterwards. I enjoyed that, watching that for the first time.
Yeah, it was so cute.
But fuck Pinocchio. All right, it's getting late. We're getting tired. So we're this is the last thing we're going to mention and talk about. But now we are done with the horror material. Hey, we got a fan here. All right. Horror material. We're done with it. And no more didn't it talking. Well,
yeah. No more trash.
No more trash Disney. We have potentially
we have a fluke.
We have a fluke Disney that we hope still pays off.
Yeah, because
let's talk about Andor.
The show I did not want, but turns out I needed.
Yes.
Yes. So okay. Rogue One is my favorite of the recent Star Wars films. And when I say recent, I mean
Disney era.
Post original trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean post original. So that includes the prequels, that includes Disney, everything.
Right.
So after, you could say like after Return of the Jedi,
mm-hmm.
after that, it's Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you could technically say it's my second favorite, to be honest, because I'm not the biggest New Hope fan. Empire Strikes Back is my favorite.
Right.
Return of the Jedi, I love some of that movie, but some of it, I'm not a fan of.
Right.
Tonally, it battles itself towards that third half.
Right.
Between Ewoks, and then you got the great stuff with the Emperor and Vader and Luke.
That's the gold. Return of the Jedi gold right there.
Yes.
The 3.
But it battles between, you have to keep going back to Andor and Ewoks and all that shit. Yeah. But so I could argue, I could actually technically say that Rogue One is my second favorite Star Wars film.
Look at that. All right.
So Rogue One, despite all of its problems and all of its reshoots and all the battles that it had to struggle with, having to struggle with the tons of reshoots, having to switch directors early on, having a whole new composer having to get brought in because of all the problems that it had in production and all that. Yeah. That movie had a big uphill battle to get made. And for it to turn out as good as it did, with all the characters it had to juggle, with the story that it had to tell, I thought it came out very well. Right. And the type of story and the way it ended, that's my kind of ending. Yeah. I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
And for when I heard about Andor coming out, I was like, I don't really know if I care.
Yeah, I at first didn't really care either. I was like, why? We know how it's going to end. And we just I just wasn't really that fascinated until we did trailer reaction. We actually visually got a chance to see it. And then my interest got piqued. I was like, this looks like different. Visually, it looks real world, lived in.
Right.
This looks like Rogue One looked.
Right.
It doesn't look like it's just so super clean sci-fi with green screen to back. Yeah. And everything looks fucking fake. Yeah. This looks like real world lived in. Because let's be honest, even if you enjoyed Obi-Wan, to each his own, but let's be honest, Obi-Wan looked cheap.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi show looked cheap.
Right.
It did. And Ewan McGregor deserves better, and you as fans deserved better. But we decided to give it a shot. We didn't know, we didn't have high expectations, but we were interested.
Yeah, and it was because of that trailer,
right,
that it was kind of like, well, maybe there's a little bit of hope there.
But
trailers have lied before.
That's right. But before we watched it, what made me go, okay, I think I'm gonna really like this show, was before we got around to watching it, that whole entire week, I didn't watch reviews, but I kept seeing thumbnails of other YouTubers and reviewers on the first 3 episodes of Andor. And I kept seeing, this is a waste of time. I kept seeing, this is the most boring piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. I kept seeing, this is the worst thing the Star Wars franchise has ever done. I kept seeing that this is the most boringest thing Star Wars has ever done. Or, she's talked to some people and I've talked to some people. They couldn't even get past the first episode. They watched the first episode and immediately gave up, and they will never return to the show.
They're bored. Yeah.
After hearing all of that, I already knew I was going to like the show. Yeah. I already knew by default, because we're at this point with Star Wars. Now, I love Star Wars, but we're at this point where we need something different. We need a palate cleanser. We're tired of the same old shit.
Yeah.
Mandalorian season 1 gave that to us, and we enjoyed Mandalorian season 2. And the Mandalorian's a good example of, you can keep things grounded and serious, but then you can have the fan service. That's why we were big fans of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But Book of Boba shit was fucking atrocious. Obi-Wan Kenobi
had so much potential.
Had a lot of potential.
And it just pissed it all away.
No, we're going to make it for 5-year-olds. Fuck you.
And that's the problem that I'm having with Star Wars, with the Disney Star Wars right now, is that, and you can disagree with me. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I am ready for Star Wars to pull away from Skywalker, and Vader.
I've been saying this forever.
And even though this is in between all of that, and this still takes place within that time frame,
right?
because obviously this is set in between episode 3 and episode 4.
Right.
It's still in between.
Right.
You know, Luke Skywalker's out there, but he's a little kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And obviously Rogue One, you see Darth Vader. There's a little bit of Vader in there, and you see Tarkin, and you see bad CGI Tarkin, bad CGI Leia, and all that. But they're not the central focus of it. And that's the thing with Andor as of right now. We're away from that.
Yeah.
And what Andor is focusing on right now is the Empire.
Right.
We're seeing a side of the Empire right now that we've never really been able to see before. We've always been told that the Empire is evil, and that's fine.
Right.
But we've never been shown why, the inner workings of it. And that might not be interesting to some people, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm loving how arrogant we're actually seeing them right now.
Yeah.
We're seeing them ignore the signs. We're seeing them walk around like they own the place.
Yeah.
We're seeing them just waltz around, not even like in a hurry after somebody when they should be chasing people. They're just walking around like, oh no, we'll catch them. No big deal. You know, we're seeing them being warned of a possible rebel alliance forming, and they're just like, no, I don't want to hear it because we're the Empire and fuck you.
Right.
I'm enjoying where we're going with this. And from my understanding, we're going to be 12 episodes in the first season, 12 episodes of the second season.
None of this 6-episode bullshit.
And what this show is allowing us to do right now is build.
Yes.
And
world building.
The first 3 episodes.
Getting to know the characters, spending time with them.
The first 3 episodes, what they did when they released them together, and I can understand why people weren't on board with that first episode, is because the first episode was a trilogy in a story.
Right.
It was absolutely tied together. It was kind of an hour-and-a-half movie, if you will.
Right.
It was connected.
The first 3 episodes.
The first 3 episodes of Andor were connected. You couldn't really watch it without going on to the next one, going on to the next one. So I could see why they released them all at the same time. It was setting up Andor. It was setting up all these characters around him. It wasn't just him.
Yeah.
And it was setting up this one place where he was at. And it was setting up, it was going back and forth. It was kind of doing what Boba Fett was trying to do in his first couple of episodes, but failed miserably because it was shot horribly. It was irritating. It was stupid. I didn't care about the fucking Tusken Raiders and all their fucking bullshit that they were doing.
Yeah.
And it did successfully what Boba Fett did not. And it showed the back and forth when he was a kid. And oh my God, this movie does not spoon feed you. The show does not spoon feed you anything. You have a flashback with him as he's a kid, and they're speaking another language, and they don't subtitle
no subtitles.
I was blown away because they trust you as an audience because they keep it.
They don't
so
treat
simple.
you like a fucking idiot.
They treat you
with respect. This audience is smart enough to stay with us, you know, and then we're going to reward them.
They basically
so far that's what we're getting.
They're basically keeping it to the point where like you should be able to understand this, and I'm like, thank you.
Yes,
it's like so refreshing, and the seeds that they're planting right now are so intriguing to me, and I feel like it's so refreshing because I'm so used to shit like Boba Fett and even the shit that went down in Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
and the shit that happened in
you're used to little baby Leia, Princess Leia.
Yeah,
running away from the villains that can't catch her, and the villains running into trees.
Yeah.
That's what you're used to.
And the shit that happened in most of the trilogy. I am so accustomed to
the Disney trilogy,
I am so accustomed to, and even the George Lucas trilogy and some of it.
Right.
I am so used to the horrible tonal inconsistencies where you're trying to tell a serious story, but then you have to keep the attention of the kids. So you're trying to tell a serious story, but then, jangle those keys, jingle the keys in front of the kids so that they can, so that they can keep up, so that you can get their attention. And so, well, that distracts me. And it's like,
kids are going to like this show. I'm
trying to pay attention to the serious story, but we've got all this Jar Jar Binks shit over here, and we've got all this stupid shit going on over here.
Right.
And it's so refreshing to not be talked down to.
Yes.
And it's so refreshing to see things actually get set up story-wise, character-wise, things that are actually like important that you can see being building blocks being set up that you can actually see that are probably going to get paid off in the future.
Right.
And not have irritating, unfunny jokes being slapped in the face with every 5 to 10 minutes. You're not getting any of that. And I'm just like, oh my God, we're actually getting dialogue.
Yeah.
We're actually getting dialogue and people talking to each other and meaningful dialogue that's actually going somewhere.
Yeah.
I can see why some people don't like the show because it's not traditional Disney Star Wars that we've been getting for the past 10 years at this point.
That's fine. We're just we're talking about our opinion, but that's fine. If you didn't like it, that's fine. But,
so I'm liking the direction that it's going so far.
Yeah. Well, it's from the creators of Rogue One, so that's why we have a shot here.
And I'm sorry if this isn't your bag, but you've got Boba Fett and you've got
Obi-Wan. Yeah.
And hopefully Mandalorian stays its course because it's kind of a mixture of the two.
Right.
It's enough of both worlds where it's serious, but it's also got some fun stuff in it.
Got some grounded stuff. Yeah.
But so far, I hope this Andor, I hope it stays where it's going because I feel like it's been so long since Star Wars has not treated me like a goddamn baby. And it's so refreshing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. And in the first episode, our boy just straight up caps a motherfucker in the head. Look at this. Does this look like Star Wars to you? Look at this. I love it. I love the visuals in this. And like I said this on a previous stream. I said, I love Star Wars. Not when it sucks, but I love Star Wars. And I grew up with it. I had the toys as a kid. Samurai Guy loves the combination of fantasy with sci-fi. I love the glowy sticks. I love when fight choreography is legit and badass. And I love that kind of stuff. I love the music. I love the Force, the Sith Lords. I love the fantasy element. I love the sci-fi dogfighting, the X-fight, the X-wings and shit. I love all that stuff. I love Star Wars when it's good. But there's absolutely nothing wrong if you want to create stuff just for kids. I was a kid. I grew up with it. Nothing wrong with that. But there's also nothing wrong with making something for the adults. Also, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking Star Wars seriously. And I think a lot of people are missing that point. When we were watching the episode and we were introduced to kind of like this police force that were kind of trying to hunt Andor and stuff like that, they knew some shit was going down. There was like a 5-minute to 8-minute dialogue between the guy who was in charge of the police precinct, and his second in command. And this is the first time we're introduced to both of these characters, and they have a long dialogue back and forth. And I turned to her and I was like, oh, Star Wars fans are going to hate this. I immediately were like, oh, they're not going to like this at all. They're not going to like this. But that dialogue between the brand new characters we were introduced to, by the third episode, there's a big action sequence chase that happens. And the second in command officer gets really fucked up in the head, affected by it. There's weight there. If we didn't have that opening dialogue with those two characters, if we weren't introduced to those two characters, if we didn't spend some time with those characters, that action set piece that we got later would have no weight. It would feel like fluff. It would feel like you're watching the fucking Power Rangers that are riding their colored scooters in Book of Boba Fett, and you don't give a shit. There's nothing wrong with taking Star Wars seriously, letting the world build, letting characters develop. There's nothing wrong with that. And hopefully it doesn't disappoint us by the end. But we're 4 episodes in, and right at the beginning, the first episode, he had to make a decision right there. I'm going to kill somebody from the fucking, from the Empire. There's no way I'm getting out of this situation. Murder. Boom. Right in that fucking head. Right in the first episode. And again, I think you mentioned it too. Like when we were introduced to his past and his tribe, and there's no subtitles. I think you said, oh, Star Wars fans are going to hate this. They're going to fucking hate it. But seeing the early beginnings of the rebellion, people getting pushed to the brink, I I think could be fascinating. And it's so far, with 4 episodes in, we haven't been disappointed, especially with the visuals. And Skarsgård Prime is what we're calling him, is fucking amazing. This guy's such a good actor. And his character, we're loving his character so far. But once in a while, when it's time and when it's needed, you'll have an action set piece here and there. But you got to let the story build. You got to let these action set pieces have some weight, you know. But yeah, I can't wait to see what the next episode brings us. And another thing we mentioned, I was going to mention earlier, but I forgot I just remembered until now. And it's the same actress that has played Mon Mothma from Rogue One. So it's great seeing her return in this series. But for something that people are so bored with and they can't even make it through an episode, we are like, oh shit, it's over. That's where we're like, oh fuck, it's over already. Fuck.
It's like, it's literally just when we want to see what's happening next. Yeah. The director credits are rolling. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where this goes. It's like I said, it's a breath of fresh air for me, for someone who's so burned out from the Star Wars property, the Disney Star Wars properties.
Yeah.
Who couldn't stomach Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Who was so sorely disappointed with Obi-Wan, who wanted to love the show, who's very trepidatious about Mandalorian only because of the trajectory of Disney Star Wars right now. Even though I've enjoyed Mandalorian so far,
right?
I'm just
we don't want it to run
nervous.
Into the ground.
I'm just nervous.
Maybe third season. Hopefully, is the last.
Yeah,
end on a great ending for
Mon Mothma.
Sorry, I said it wrong.
No, he said Mon Mothra.
Mothra.
Someone saying Mon Mothra.
Just remember, OGP. He said he wants to watch it. Just remember, man, it's slow burn. Okay.
It's espionage.
It's espionage.
It's just it's a slow burn with building.
Yes.
It's literally, you see people. It's like every time I see this, like every episode I'm watching, I see the writers putting things into place. I literally see things every time there's dialogue, and then I see a scene several scenes later, I can just see somebody putting things into place, and I'm just like, I am loving this because it's been so long since I've seen this.
Yeah. In Star Wars.
I mean, it's just, and I'm just loving it. That by the end of that third episode, when you have this scene where you've got Andor escaping from the planet that he's on, and it's juxtaposed to the scene where he was originally escaping from the planet that he came from as a child, and you've got the whole town that's had to make this really hard decision in fighting back against this police force that was looking for Andor.
Right.
And they fought back, and they realize what they've done in fighting back. And you got the police force that just got their asses handed to them, and the music is swelling, and it's a dialogue free at this point because everyone's just gotten into this firefight.
Yeah.
And people have died.
Yeah.
People have died on both sides.
Yeah.
And Andor's escaping, and it's parallel with a scene of him escaping as a child, and you see the casualties on both sides, and you see people's faces, and you see the weight of what they've done, and you see that there's going to be consequences. It's all dialogue free.
All dialogue
and
free.
You
just
see
music.
it in their faces, like, oh my God, shit is going to go down. By the end of that third episode, I'm like, I didn't know I needed this show. I didn't even want this show, but oh my God, here I am just clamoring for the next episode. And it's been so long since I've had that in a show.
Yeah. And you have, there's not a lot of action because, like I said,
it took them 3 hours.
I got them earlier, but we got the sex bots are back. But yeah, like again, that you feel like there's weight to the action scenes, And I love Skarsgård, man. When Andor gets a drop on the second in command police chief, the lieutenant or whatever, right away you hear Skarsgård in the back, shoot him, kill him, like right in the background. He's got him. He's like, just kill him, and he's trying to talk to him and get information from the officer, and then you hear Skarsgård in the back again. If you don't shoot him, I'm going to shoot him. Like I'm loving this we're getting our balls back a little. We're getting our balls back a little bit. But yeah, we're enjoying it so far. But we get it. We get it if it's not for you. But just remember this: a lot of people out there, they take shots at fans that like Star Wars, and they say, "Oh, Star Wars is just for babies." Empire Strikes Back,
it's boring.
It's boring for babies.
Like, okay,
it's okay. It's all right to have a little goddamn respect for being a Star Wars fan. Like, it's all right. It's okay to take Star Wars seriously once in a while. You can have your fun popcorn stuff. You can have your fantasy. Like I said, I'm a fan, but it's okay to have something different once in a while. And I hope it ends well. Well, we know how it really ends, but I hope the show ends well. And we hope Mandalorian season 3 is good. But yeah,
I would love to
4
see,
episodes in. We are in this show.
I would love to see a little bit more of a tie-in with Rogue One by the end of the series somehow.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to do that.
I would love to see if they could deviate a little bit and maybe not from Andor's perspective, but maybe show some of the characters that do appear in Rogue One. Maybe show their perspective somehow.
Maybe
without showing Andor. Get a little introduction to them. Right, without showing Andor's perspective, of course, because they don't meet until the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
because I love Rogue One. I always said Rogue One would have benefited so greatly if it had been a series.
Yes, it would have been a better
just because series, of the amount of characters that were in it. Right. But for what it could do.
Right. Well, we'll end it here with OGP's comment. He goes, he loves Better Call Saul seasons 1 and 2. They are slow. And he's cool with that as long as the story is solid. He doesn't need action. And if you went OGP to the Disney executives and said something like that for Star Wars, they'll be like, "All right, thanks for coming, sir. We appreciate your time. No action. We can't sell toys. We can't sell glowy sticks." But yeah, I'm surprised. That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised Andor's even a thing, and they let the people who did Rogue One have control. So far, with just 4 episodes in, we haven't been disappointed. So, and if it turns to shit, we're going to be the first ones to let you guys know. But yeah, we'll end the comment with that. You guys fucking rock. We almost made it to 3 hours tonight.
Oh.
But yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. You're all fucking badasses. I'm losing my voice now because of fucking Pinocchio.
I'm still reeling from Mufasa.
The Mufasa botch?
Godfather 2.
Oh, I know.
That kills me. I Disney, I fucking dare you.
What?
I fucking dare you to make Mufasa like Godfather Part 2.
Yeah. No, they lost their balls. Andor's a fluke. Hopefully Werewolf by Night delivers. That might be the next fluke. Werewolf by Night might be the next Disney fluke.
Yeah.
Disney Marvel fluke.
I know.
It might be.
For sure.
And we're here. We're going to check that out and review that for you guys. Wait, really quick though, before we go, we got this in the mail.
Oh.
I didn't get I just, opened the top.
Yeah.
But I didn't open it yet because I was just like, with stuff that's weird, I don't recognize it. I want to show it to you. I don't want to just open it up by myself. Oh, yeah,
great, thanks.
Right, But there's something in here. Let's see. What is this?
Yeah, leave all the crazy shit for me. I appreciate that.
Holy shit.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.